Oh boy, hello everybody, we're live. I'm back. I've got the Discord with me. I've got live chat popped out. I'm still a little bit processing. I'm gonna be adjusting their audios as we go, because I kind of rushed a little bit to get back in here for obvious reasons. So, if you guys all want to say hi, let's just start with Jack of Hearts. Do you want to say hi to us while I adjust your audio?
Hey, sorry, I just got some food. Yeah, I'm Jack of Hearts. I usually go on. I sometimes come on these streams to check out. Ooh, whoop!
Oh, somebody's got my own audio playing.
Yes, I had you playing. I didn't realize. Anyway, yeah, I'm a speedrunner normally. I talk shit, and I have no idea what I'm talking about most of the time. So have fun.
Helios, who's this over here?
Hey, this is Helios 575. Long-time watcher. Very rarely pop in on this, but I've been here since the beginning.
Nice.
I mod for Chesh, and more accurately, I troll the crap out of her in her own streams.
This is true. He's probably one of my greater trolls. And who's that in before there? In before I plan D to get to go to jail.
This is Al. I just hang out.
Yeah, that was definitely enough talking to adjust your audio. is that Lord Burns on the bottom left?
Oh yeah,
you're
that's
fine.
me.
You're fine. What's going on, my dude?
Oh, doing pretty good. As I said, I'm also a follower. Also throw the occasional memes at Chesh. Memes. She gets a kick out of
the
them.
memes. It's just true.
Yeah, about the memes.
Also one of two soundboard legends that we have.
Oh yeah, so between me and Jay Brown.
True. Is that Mr. Serious I also see?
Yes, this is Mr. Serious, and I know you probably are going to want me to say a lot, but I am not one to want to talk long-winded sentences about myself, so I'm going to have to cut it short and just end it right there.
I see Musk in here. How you doing, Musk?
Howdy, thank you. First time in Discord for you.
See, I convince everybody to come into Discord. It's just how it goes. Is that Nikki also?
Yep, it's me. I'm running on no sleep for like almost 2 days now, so I'm gonna be going to bed here in a little bit.
Fair enough. Physical Gel, are you gonna be chatting with us, or are you staying on mute?
I'll probably be staying on mute.
Yep, totally fair. I see a Reds Rhetoric. I don't know which one it is. Hi, Reds! Which one are you? They're muted. They might not be talking.
It's Blasphemer.
Oh, Blasphemer. Okay, cool. Do you want to talk, or are you on mute? Don't unmute yourself if you don't want to talk. Alright, Reverend Ruin, how you doing, my man? Alright, nothing from Reverend. Rez, how you doing?
Apparently Reverend took the vow of silence.
Reverend might be asleep.
Oh.
Oh, that's a problem. I'll just if that's a thing, I'll deal with that in the background. In the meantime, I do believe I see Todd in there also.
Yeah, it's your boy. What's up?
Hey man, how you doing? Actually, we haven't chatted in a while. How are you?
Oh, hanging in there. Moved, but still alive. Not dead yet.
Very nice. I mean, it's good to that. I mean, you're doing better than Kyle, I assume.
Oh yeah. I was hoping to actually celebrate some stuff, but you know, kind of puts
it got dark
on the mood. Yeah, fast.
It got dark.
Hawks in here.
Yeah, and Hawks just popped in. Hawks, how you doing? God damn it, you guys! Why you always do this to me?
Thanks, Hawks.
Why did you?
I couldn't get BK myself. I couldn't get any BK myself, so I got myself some homemade Thai red curry and noodles. This is fantastic.
Oh, very nice. Oh god, I am having a Discord problem. Discord panic. Dear Lord. All right, so we're here for not the most pleasant of reasons, sadly, which sucks. I just watched the... Okay, so everybody knows Kyle's been arrested, yada, yada, yada. He got arrested on a simple assault charge, but it looks like from what I've seen and from what is publicly available now and what... I'm pouring another glass of wine. I just watched that before we got in here, and my brain got a lovely distraction from adjusting everybody's audio, but now I'm still kind of processing what I witnessed, and it is... There are lots of words. If you are a... This video is likely to trigger you if you are easily triggered by stuff like that. I'm not going to play it here. It will probably be released today or tomorrow, or sorry, tomorrow at some point. It's not going to be released tonight. Hello?
Yo.
Hey, it's Reds.
Is it
What's
the
up,
real
guys?
Is it the real Reds rhetoric this time?
It sounds like the real Reds.
I don't know. You tell me.
Could
Well,
it
the
be?
real Reds
On
rhetoric,
the
please stand
Discord,
up.
So, very sus.
Yeah.
Hi.
Reds, you bring us
Hello.
the most wonderful, fun stuff, don't you?
Tell me about it. It's a shitty job, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah, I
This
like
is
your
why you're a
last job
plumber.
better.
Yeah. If I sound like shit, that's because I'm on my laptop, and that's the reason why. But so if I sound like shit, I guess nothing changed. But yeah, whatever. But yeah, I've been getting some details in real time actually, and it's getting progressively more fucked up as the night grows colder.
Oh, so as the night grows
yeah.
long, it just gets worse. Good, good, great, good. Okay.
It's always darkest before the dawn.
Misery loves company.
Are we going to get news here?
We won't get any news yet, but I will tell you that news is developing as we speak.
I was gonna say, Reds doesn't normally show up unless he has something new to add.
No, I'm here because, quite frankly, I've seen some shit, and I kind of just want to just go somewhere, and if that means hanging out with you rejects, then I guess I'll do it.
Oi,
Hey,
hold on a minute. Wait a sec. Hold up. My Discord is very exclusive. Would you like me to kick your ass out?
Hey, can I say something real quick? I have actually two things for it. First, that's
Yeah,
Mr.
I do.
Reject, and then
Actually,
secondly,
I do actually owe an apology there. So I just want to say I'm sorry, Nikki. I didn't mean that towards you. The rest of you,
Oh yeah,
I'm used
I
to
am a
it.
little hurt about that, Reds.
But yeah, I will say that news is developing as we speak. As we get deeper into the night, we're getting deeper in shit, or at least Kyle is.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I think it's all part of the Misery Loves Company syndrome.
Yep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question before we start. That might be able to be a good one to start off this whole thing. The charges, the simple assault charges, was that something that seems like were charges that were given to Kyle to maybe just put him in jail, but weren't quite charges that seemed accurate to that weren't really applicable to what you saw in the video?
In my opinion, yes. Now again, details are still coming in, so take this as just my gut feeling for now. But I believe that the charges that were placed on him were a placeholder, and they need to be modified. And I believe they will be modified relatively soon to better reflect what we saw on the video.
That, I mean, I was trying to give him the biggest benefits of the doubt I could
Yeah, don't
about
do
what
that.
the charges could have been, and given from what I heard about what was in the video, like it's like it definitely was a gut punch. I couldn't have imagined anything like this could have happened given the charges that we heard. So I couldn't believe at first when I heard what happened. It didn't make any sense to me, so that's why I ask. It just doesn't, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's because they don't make sense. You're correct to have these feelings, in my opinion. I do believe that the charges, like simple assault, that's just a placeholder. They will be modified, they will be updated to better reflect what actually occurred. Because what we saw on the video was absolutely disgusting. And
okay, so I have some thoughts. I have a few thoughts, and one of them is when someone is you can see the verbal assault going on. You can see that. You don't have to hear it to recognize what is quite clearly and quite obviously someone yelling and then speaking threatening quietly to somebody else. You can see what's happening, and that camera is close enough that you can see muscle tension. You can see when somebody's like getting up.
You see the veins in his forehead.
You can well, not quite. He's on the other side, but you can you can see when somebody is getting aggressive or not. It's an easy tell, particularly if you've been in that kind of a situation. And this video will be triggering to people who have been in this situation. This video is very aggressive. I don't want to overhype it because it's one of those videos where I encourage people to count the number of times that the victim is hit. It's a lot. You'll get distracted in the first watch. I assure you, with your own thoughts before you successfully count the number of times, and then recognize when it looks like it's open fist versus, like, open hand versus fist, because that's a thing. You can also see the victim try, like, one of the reasons you can see them blocking, and like that they're not into this. Like it starts off because we don't have audio, it's hard to say whether or not the starting point is just like play and okay and what they're into. I don't know what the victim is into, but you can see when they start defending themselves, when they start, like, they never lash back, by the way. It's only ever defensive. And you can see that at some points they're sacrificing getting hit in the face to hold themselves from being dragged into the water. And yes, Hippie Dan. Yeah, somebody got Kyle on camera, and it looks like Kyle will continue to abuse his current boyfriend, or the
I'd
person
be careful
in the
with how
video.
many details you give away before the video is released to the public, though.
I'm not too worried about it, only because, like, these are things that are in the video. Whether or not this is Kyle, it's gonna be hard to say that that's not Kyle, I'll put it that way. But this is like, what bothers me is that I'm glad there isn't audio, but knowing that there was, you can see Kyle, like, yelling, you can see, or maybe not Kyle, whatever. You can see the perpetrator yelling, you can see the perpetrator getting in the person's face and yelling, you can see them when they're, like, whispering in their ear, and everything about that is just like, nope, nope. Nope.
No, it's disturbing. It's disturbing. That's the word I'm going to use to describe it. It's disturbing.
It gets worse when you stack on that if this is like a lover, if this is a boyfriend, if this is a husband, if this is somebody who is like your significant other who's supposed to. It's the emotional attachment that is also pretty, like, in your face, and you can see where it switches and where there's like a hard to follow back and forth, and it's like, it's sad. It's sad. It's just everything about it is unpleasant. Rodent No Last Name for 5 says, not to make fun of domestic violence, but obviously Steve dressed up as Kyle, fooled the boyfriend, made the assault just to blame Kyle, obviously. Don't be surprised if you hear that. But luckily Steve still has his luxurious hair, so you don't have to worry about it.
What was the setting?
Keep in mind, what was said previously, that this guy that Kyle just assaulted was supposedly the man of his dreams. This is how he treats the man of his dreams.
Like, where was he where he had water to pull somebody into?
Yes, please.
They were in a pool.
Like a public pool? They were out in public.
Okay, so I'm not sure where they were, but it looks to me like they were at a pool that exists as part of a complex. So you know how sometimes like an apartment complex will have an outdoor pool? It wasn't outdoor, but it didn't look like it was a public pool. It looked like it was a pool that was like
or something?
No, like an apartment building that has a pool.
Oh, okay.
Like an
It looked like
pool.
it was an outdoor pool, but it looked like an amenity that goes with an apartment. So like everybody in the
So I guess
apartment complex can use
Whoever
the pool.
said that was actually correct. There was someone random in the chat that said that. They said that it was a pool at an apartment complex.
That's what it looked like to me, at the very least. If it wasn't an apartment complex, then maybe like semis. I don't know if I'm Canadian. I don't know if North Carolina does like bungalows or if they have basements there. I don't know. Some places don't. So
Tiny houses.
I would say it looked like a hotel pool if it looked like a hotel, but it doesn't look like a hotel. It looks like an apartment complex where it's not quite as spiffy and like not used. Do you know what I mean? Like it looks like there's not. It's hard to say. There's like a vibe to a hotel pool that is not in this video. It doesn't look like a hotel.
Depends on how good the hotel is, I guess.
Also that, but it looks like an apartment. It doesn't look like a fancy like lined at the bottom pool. You know what I mean?
My want to watch. I mean, watching this would probably make me sick, but my want to watch this has more to do with just closure. But so I have a question about something else that may have come up in it. You say that he was trying to pull, Kyle was trying to pull the victim into the pool to perhaps maybe drown him.
I don't know what his intentions were, but he was definitely trying to drag him into the deeper end of the pool where he could no longer like reach the edges.
How, like, what percent, not really what percent, but like what do you think the odds are that he could get a like an attempted murder charge?
Probably not likely. I don't think he'll get that charge because that charge is a lot harder to stick to somebody in court. So I think what courts tend to do in from my reading and from what I've seen through like following different cases has been that they'll go for the lowest charge that they're guaranteed to get. So you're more likely to get a kidnapping charge than a rape charge, right? So I think it's more likely that they're probably going to get him on at least aggravated assault, and probably some kind of domestic violence. They might get him on something along the lines of something that sounds a little bit more silly, like mischief. Depending, because this is the only interaction you see is what took place in the pool. That does not mean that's the only interaction, right? So it's hard to say without reading the testimony of the victim at this point.
But from the looks of it, you definitely think they would charge him with something criminal for his actions of trying to pull him into the pool.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if there's any relation to, okay, again, I have to put the caveat in, I'm Canadian. And so, in Canada, oh fuck yeah, he's definitely gonna be not only spend at least a weekend in jail if he was in Canada, but also he's not gonna be allowed anywhere near this person, legally at least.
I'm curious about the victim. I don't know if there's. I mean, we may not ever be able to, I mean, I don't think that we should ever we should ever even know his name, especially if he doesn't want us to. But I feel bad for people who have been hurt because of things that even loosely have anything to do with stuff going on, like community-wise. Like he could have been in jail a day sooner, maybe.
He could have been if the North Carolina legal system actually like talked to each other. Kyle would have been served his warrant and arrested when he was pulled over for the driving infraction, and he wasn't at entirely the fault of the legal system that Unirock and Menace and Nate have been praising as to, well, I guess the warrant's fake because he didn't do No. If they had actually been speaking to each other properly, like between the court and the different counties, this would have never happened. Which is terrifying.
And this is why I'm stressing the importance of this motherfucker staying in jail. He is dangerous. And the last thing we need is that motherfucker back on the streets.
There's... I don't know. It's... This is the issue with... I don't even want to say, like, this is a whole issue on its own, right? And then there's, like, a line of demarcation. And it's between online and real life. There's a difference between encouraging somebody and their online bullshittery, and that feeding into their confidence level, which then feeds into what they think they can get away with in real life towards somebody. A lot of what we see with, like, the McCrazy's video that I did, which I now am preferring to call the Bitchmaid Brigade, their behavior would not be even close to acceptable socially. Not even close. Because online, they're abusing Steve in the same way. If they thought they could get away with it. And that's one of the things that I noticed in this video. This is just my take, by the way. This is just my take. Take it for what you will. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that this is the case. But given Kyle's behavior, physical posture, and what he is doing in this video, at least what we think is Kyle, he would have done more if he could have gotten away with it. Whether that be he thought he could get away with it physically, or whether or not he was just physically stronger. It's super fucked up. It's super fucked up. Like, one of my thoughts when I was watching this happening, again, this is just my thought. This is not anything further than that. My thought is that if Kyle had the physical strength to smash this dude's head against the side of the pool, he'd have done it. Now, that might be this is the way I'm interpreting this. This has to do with, like, my past and what I do know and don't know and my interpretation. But it definitely reads to me that he grabbed that guy's head and was, like, winging it around. If he could have, I think he would have done it either purposefully or by accident. Dude, this video is not for the faint of heart, by the way. So somebody in the chat said, I'm scared to watch this now. Yeah, I was trepidatious about watching it too. I definitely don't. If you're gonna get easily triggered, do not watch the video.
I was just thinking that the way you guys keep describing the actions that are happening in this video, it sounds more like not so much the trying to hurt the victim, but more like it's more like a display of power.
It's both.
Yeah,
it's definitely both.
Yeah. He was trying to dominate the other person. Exactly.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
It's an abuse tactic where it's like there's difference. It's you do domineering, you do physical domineering, you do emotional, and you do verbal domineering. And so in this case, particularly when it comes to abusive behaviors, I'm speaking in general, by the way, at this point. It's usual if you're physically being aggressive towards someone that you're also verbally, but you're also gonna stop for a second and then verbally talk them down and being like, oh, well, no, this is, if you hadn't have done this, stuff like that. Or, oh, but I care about you so much and I'm just so angry and da-da-da-da-da, and then back to the physical violence. And this is visually, again, this is without audio. I don't have any audio, so this, I can visually see the verbal aggression. That's how aggressive it is. So, like, you know how when somebody's yelling, you can see that they're yelling and they're getting in somebody's face? You can see that happening. I don't know what they're saying, but I can see the raise in tone and the raise in aggression. Rodent no last name for 5, and then go ahead, Al, is, will they upgrade his charge from simple assault to Rube Goldberg assault? Could be.
Well, it sounds like to me that this is someone who, I know you and Steve have talked a lot about different things on Caffeine Corner that people know about, the way people try to take control in power dynamics and in certain relationships. And it sounds like someone that has lost control trying to take back control in any way he can.
That could be the case. I don't know the intricacies.
I mean, I don't know the exact phrase I would use.
Actually, you're onto something there, because what I'm seeing is Kyle beating this guy, slapping him around, while in the midst of that,
trying to be nurturing.
Yeah, and then try to be nurturing. Yeah, going in for
hugs
and cuddles.
It reminds me of like some family members I know. Not to
Yeah,
overshare or anything.
So basically, I want to state that. So at one point, he's grabbing the dude's hair and slapping him, and then goes in for kisses, hugs, cuddles. Basically, it seems to me that he's trying to make moves on this guy, and the dude's just getting none of it. He's getting pissed off and is acting out violently.
It's a matter of a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, right? Like, he gets close to the guy, but because we don't know what he's saying, we don't know if he is saying something nurturing or if he's saying something threatening, or both.
It was the body language that I was seeing, that Kyle was being both nurturing and aggressive. So when
I would agree with that.
The nurturing side of Kyle didn't move
If
the
it
guy,
was Kyle, by the way.
responded with slaps.
If it was Kyle, by the way. This is only the charge that he got picked up on.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we'll use the word allegedly here.
All of us, I'm
allegedly,
sure, would be more than happy to be 100% incorrect, to be fair.
Oh, I would love to be 100% incorrect. I hope the video is CGI. It doesn't look like it is, though. Because, again, just to be clear again on this, you are right that there is both aggression and this type of nurturing, lovey-dovey bullshit, being displayed by Kyle. So Kyle grabs this guy's hair, slaps him around a few times, then tries to go in for kisses and cuddles. When Kyle gets rejected, he then continues being abusive.
Now, maybe
how abusers get what they want.
Maybe I can be like the lovey-dovey like face of the group, and maybe I can speak for everybody. So everybody out there who like thinks that we all just hate Kyle and hate everything about him and want him to die and all this crap. Look, I mean, my stomach is killing me. I am sick at this news. I just wanted it to be like the most minor charge that could possibly have ever been, ever. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for that more than anything ever. So and I deep down, I really do kind of hope that maybe it might not be Kyle. But to be perfectly honest, if I do believe what Ben had said about Kyle, and if Ben's right, and if this is Kyle, I mean, that would just mean that like this is just a pattern of behavior. Like this, it just needs more credence that this would be Kyle. It would make perfect sense that this would be Kyle. So
it's not terribly common for people who are domestic violence victims to recognize the people who fucking hit them.
I want more than anything for this not to be Kyle. So don't go and be thinking, oh, they just want it to be Kyle, blah, blah, blah. No, we don't. No, I don't think anybody here does. I think that we are all distraught. We're all in a somber mood because we wish it wasn't Kyle.
Let me cut in on that. I hope it is Kyle, purely for the fact that if it's not Kyle, that means whoever did it's still on the loose.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, technically, we
point.
don't know if
I
that other
can
person's been
see
arrested
how,
because we don't know their name, so we don't know if they'd been arrested or not.
I think it's broken the law in a way. I mean, you can laugh about some stuff, but when it gets to stuff like this, it's just disturbing.
Well, yeah, you've gotten to the point where it's like, this is why I was like, you've got, in the video that I made of like all the Gordian knot thing, you've got all of these advocates on the line, and despite people saying, hey, this person is problematic, they ignore that, boost the person up anyway, and this is at the end of the line. Where are we? We're at some poor random fuck getting the shit kicked out of them. Like, what? How did we this is the internet. People are, oh, well, no, look out, they're gonna take it into real life. What the fuck do you mean when you say that? What does it mean, taking things into real life? Does it mean that somebody called the police on a criminal that was a criminal for other reasons that are now just getting stacked up? Should Reds have not called the police and then the police let this guy off and something worse happens? Because like we said, had the police been talking to each other properly via jurisdictions, like via like Raleigh versus Guilford County, this would not have happened. If Kyle had turned himself in, this would not have happened. If Kyle didn't steal the fucking show, where would we be at? Right? Kawasa for 10 said, I think it's never really pleasing to see people fall so far, even if they're enemies. I think the issue with Kyle is that he never fell anywhere. He was always in this position. There's no change to Kyle. From what we heard from Ben, during Non Sequitur show, he was behaving in this way. There is no fall that's taken place whatsoever. It's just become obvious to everybody on the internet, when it shouldn't have been a thing on the internet in the first place, except that fucking Kyle drug it there. Godless Scummer says, I'm only just catching up to what's gone. Serious question, because I don't know about the legalities here, as this is a much more serious. Is it wise to be talking about this live? The answer is that nothing we say here is going to affect litigation in the first place, right? So if the person who needs to press charges is going to be the person who was assaulted, right? That can happen outside of this stream to begin with. If anything, like we did for Ben, we embolden the victim to be able to be like, hey, listen, you're not going to get shit on for coming forward about this. There's going to be a surprising number of people that are going to come out to support you. On the other hand, there's nothing that we're doing is going to interfere with this case. The only thing that's going to quote-unquote interfere is that we're going to do what we can to keep Kyle in prison longer, as per Steve and Reds and what they're up to. I don't think getting the thoughts from the community that Kyle was a part of and the people Kyle stole from is going to harm any litigation that is separate from that case. Now, if the question is, hey, is what you're saying, if it turns out not to be Kyle, we've made it clear that we're going off of, like, it appears to be Kyle, but we're more than happy if we're wrong. Except for Helios, which, you know, to be fair, makes a very good point. At least if it is Kyle, then he's in... Like, we're not the ones naming him. This isn't, like, open-ended footage that was without a testimony right? There's already a public testimony and a public TRO available if you want to read it. I can pull it up if you guys want. I'll let you guys in the chat decide and in the Discord decide. If you want me to pull up the TRO testimony affidavit shit, I can pull that up if you want.
And that matches the video.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, then I guess why are we even questioning it then at this point?
Well, I don't know. Apparently, if you question what a victim says, it's rape apologetics. So,
right. I want to say that I personally, even though I know that the trolls would make this kind of a pain in the ass, I want to support the victim if it's at all possible. Like, I don't know how, just to be there, have support them in some way, just to let them know people are there. I don't know.
See, yeah, I'm thinking. I'm thinking we.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, we could all get together, do like a little fundraiser, and maybe split a little bit between us, and then maybe give some to the victim. Who knows? Oh shit, are we live?
I see what you did there.
Oh, damn it, Reds is in the call. Everything is ruined.
Pretty much. I'm gonna say, Mr. Sears, just be patient on that. We'll see what we can do. No promises and any direction on that, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, there's I mean, it's always nice to get a surprise like $1,000 or something. I mean, victim or not, I wouldn't complain about suddenly getting $1,000 dropped in my account. Yeah, cool, thanks.
Well, there is also one thing. The best support that we may be able to give them is just to try to keep their name out of the crazy people's mouths as much as possible.
Out of the conversation, yeah. There's a reason why we're not saying this person's name despite whether we know it or not, right? And like it's always been about support. Like, keep in mind that even Steve talking to that Earl David Warden guy was still in support of a potential victim. If Warden was wrongfully convicted like he says he was, and Steve gave him the benefit of the doubt, he's the victim of the system in that case, right? So like that all we've ever done even in that case is support who we think might be a victim, right? There's never been any deviation from that. So at no point, this is something that Ben had said, and I'd be more than happy to hear from him again. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on to chat with us again at some point, is that Ben was surprised and happy to see the amount of people that he could commiserate with, that he could talk to, and people understood that, yeah, no, fuck that guy, because that's one of the things that abusers do. And I don't think it's offside to say that Kyle abused Ben, period. I think that's a pretty well stated fact at this point. And so one of the first things somebody who's abusing somebody will do is isolate them, right? So this to let a victim know that listen, you're not alone and we agree, fuck that guy in particular, I don't think is... There's nobody going after Kyle in that case. The only people going after Kyle in this case is the fucking law. The rest of us are sitting here being like, let's one, cheer on the law, and B, support the victim. Those are the two main things that we've been even doing since we were supposed to have a fucking celebration and we didn't because we support a victim.
And also push the law to recognize a warrant that is active, signed by a judge. People act like doing such a thing is a bad thing. Well, in this case, I'm just going to say it. If you are a decent fucking person, you know that making those phone calls is the right thing to do. Making sure that fucker stays in jail and off the streets.
What more can you do for a victim than to move them away from their abuser, right?
Yeah, go figure. Interesting how that works.
Can I go ahead and put out the really awful truth that the people that we know that I won't name right now, they're going to find this victim's name and absolutely contact him one way or another. And I don't know what they're going to tell him or talk to him about.
Well,
but,
we remember when these people you don't recall, Matt Dillahunty walking around saying, oh yeah, it's between Kyle and a drunken ex. Congratulations on your win, Kyle. Nice advocacy there, you fucking asshole. You really don't think the fucking same people will do this shit? Oh, you mean Matt Dillahunty, who's now announced his fucking new relationship that is totally not a fucking power dynamic problem thing going on, right? I have a video coming out about that later. Oh god.
Know something.
No, he's dating like a 27-year-old, which is fine. Like, the dating thing isn't the issue, or the age difference isn't the issue, keeping in mind that people are ragging on Steve for being 50 while he was seeing a 34-year-old. Matt Dillahunty, who's 52, is seeing somebody who's like turning 26 or 27. They're a trans woman who is who suddenly he started supporting from OnlyFans, who suddenly decided to show up on the ACA out of left field, who then disappeared from the ACA and then showed up as a host on The Line, where they then announced their relationship, which then made me think, how old was Beth when Matt and her got together? Oh, they got married when she was 27, and when she was 18 to 19, she was a fan of his and fell in love with him and then made a call to him, and then they got together, and then they got married when he was in his 40s and she was 27. Oh, funny thing that. Is Matt Dillahunty a McCrazy? Good question, Keon. That is a great question. If he's taking Nate Brody's narrative that we harassed Kyle's lawyer and then demanding that Red's rhetoric go ahead and demonstrate Nate's claim for him, you tell me whether or not he falls in the McCrazy category, particularly as somebody who's like, hey, if you make the claim, you gotta back it up. But instead of asking Nate, who made the claim, he's asking Reds, who's like, where the fuck did this happen? You tell me! I don't know. This is bullshit. I hate everything.
Oh, and just to be clear, I was talking about the fact that the people that I'm talking about are going to make his name public, and just to be ready for that when it happens.
He needs to come at them up like a sack of bricks if they do, and just make sure everyone online finds out about it.
Well, we recall which people it was that were harassing Ben when he came forward, right? Right? Like, we all remember who that was.
People
Reds, you sound like complete shit. Can you, like, babble for 30 seconds until your mic picks up and then talk?
No.
Okay, well then nobody's on the outside's gonna be able to hear you. That's okay.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess. Considering an upgrade, probably my internet connection's going to shit. So I'll leave you guys alone for this evening.
No, it's not your internet connection that's the problem. Is that it takes a second for your mic to realize that you're talking and kick in. So you need to talk, like, babble for half of a second and then start talking, and it will pick you up fine.
So this is a Discord thing.
Yeah, you probably have your setting too high. I can help you with it afterward. Don't worry about it.
All right, understood. Just know that things are working in the background. I'll have more details in a bit, but I am actually going to leave you guys to it. Chesh, if you can help me fix this Discord fucking nonsense, that would be great. And yeah, so just just keep an eye on Twitter, and we'll just go from there. But yeah, one of the first people to harass Ben was Unirock
and Menace.
Yeah, all of those shitheads.
And I mean,
So-
arguably, Matt Dillahunty, if he's gonna be running around in different things discrediting him when he didn't even fucking listen to what he had to fucking say, like, you're gonna fucking discount a victim before you fucking heard what they had to say. That's kind of bullshit, in my opinion. That kind of pisses me off a little bit. I'm a little bit raw. I'm a little bit mad.
Does that almost match?
Sorry, say again?
Yeah.
I said, whose definition of what does that almost match?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no idea.
I mean,
Seems
it's fancy
almost
doing like
pointless.
zero due diligence when it comes to having an opinion on something like that.
His due diligence
Yeah.
was going to
It's-
over to demand answers from Red's Rhetoric, who was like, listen, this isn't the way this shit works, and no, nobody should be being harassed. And his, like, Matt's
You just say
response was
something.
like, oh, hey, I'm Matt Dillahunty, do you want to prove to me and demonstrate to me how you're not doing this thing? How about go bother Nate then, the person you work with regularly on the, everything about this bullshit fake advocacy pisses me off.
Let me be clear on this. Let me be clear on this. Matt Dillahunty was pissed off that I didn't give a flying fuck about him. He's like, how can you not give a flying fuck about me? I'm Matt Dillahunty. Well, I don't give a shit. Fuck you. So, with that being said, have a good night, people.
No, Reds.
Right.
Bye.
Night, Reds.
There's a degree of, like, frustration that just comes along with this kind of nonsense that's like, you're demanding that I care about who you are instead of what you're saying, while you sit around and say it doesn't matter who you are, it's about what you say, right? I don't know.
Yeah, don't trust arguments from authority. Trust me, I'm an authority.
Right, that's it. Oh, do you care about proving it to me? Who the fuck
It's
are
like,
you?
does-
I'm Matt Dillahunty.
I mean, you kind of get that when people become so far. The old saying goes, "Power corrupts." You know, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. What can you do when people get to a certain level of popularity? Often it just does screw with the heads, especially in when they talk for a living.
Yeah, I don't think we're about to take lessons on morality from a groomer like fucking Matt Dillahunty.
That's a way to put it. And like I agree with Godless Scummer though. Like he makes a good point. Like what do you speak on a currently litigated case? Do you speak on a case that is still active? And the answer is that, I mean, we've been talking about non sequitur the whole time, and it's turned out really it's very one-sided. And I think the answer is that if you have no fucking idea what's going on, no, don't say anything, because you're just going to make it worse. But somebody in the Discord earlier today made a point about, hey, should Steve be making Ben's situation more public and more obvious, right? Because Steve was tweeting out about, hey, remember when Ben said he was getting abused by Steve? Hey, look at how this is parallel. And somebody was like, hey, should he be speaking kind of quote-unquote for Ben, or commenting on the Ben situation on Ben's behalf? And the answer was, which we found out during the stream earlier, was that, well, he had already been in contact with Ben. And Ben was thankful that Steve was willing to go out and say that on his behalf. So he'd already spoken to the victim about it. So the answer is that I think it's important to take into account who's saying what, and whether or not you can trust that person to have already done the work ahead of time to be sure that what they're saying is reasonable. Like, for an example, Steve said that he's like, listen, I'm not just arbitrarily, because I'm pissy, reporting Nate to the bar over some arbitrary bullshit. I think he crossed the line, and I'm speaking to a lawyer about how to get this done and how to get it done right. And if it wasn't going to get done right, it would get tossed out. Right? Do you or do you not trust the person who's fucking feeding you bullshit?
And to be perfectly honest, I think that is like the first level of things that he should be doing when it comes to Nate.
Reporting to the bar, you mean, or talking to another lawyer?
No, going to the bar is like level 1. I think he should be going harder though. Do more things. Go after him.
What other things would he do though? I mean, I think what he said today was one at a time, I think is what he said. He's like, listen, I've got like already enough lawsuits going on. I don't need like all of them all at once.
Well, I think that that Nate is kind of like, you ever see like Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, describe that to me.
Well, there's an episode where where there's an episode where they go to court and like Charlie is going to talk about bird law, right? Like that's Nate. So if he went to court against Nate, like that's what it would be like. So just go to court against him for whatever. You win. It's not hard.
I want to point out Charlie won that case.
I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
So actually, the cases were thrown out. So if that's what you want to call a win, then I guess whatever.
Okay, so Dennis wasn't held liable for all of the damages, so I do call that a win. Yes.
Hi, Dapper.
Hello.
So Throw the Dwarf for 2 said, who is Matt What's-His-Face? Good point. At this degree, I don't know how people decided to choose Matt Dillahunty over David Silverman at this point, because I can understand why people don't like David Silverman, and it's because he's purposefully inflammatory, and I get that, but at least he's upfront about the shit that he's doing, not fucking Matt's fucking snaky-ass bullshit. Which is my opinion. Ugh.
Oh, I do want to say respect for anyone playing OG XCOM. That's pretty sweet.
Okay.
I also don't think Groomer is harsh at all. I think that's accurate.
Dapper, I know you're coming in a little bit behind. Where are you at? And I will fill you. I'll fill you in.
So I watched your previous stream with Steve and Reds.
Yes.
And I caught, I don't know, like maybe 15 minutes of the beginning of this. So I'm reasonably caught up, unless it happened on this stream.
Okay, so nothing terribly new has happened if you watched that last one. You should be pretty well caught up. Besides of the I saw the video now, and I highly recommend anybody who has like maybe a bias when it comes to it's a dude fighting a dude. I would recommend change the genders of anybody involved. Any way direction you want, because if this was a guy against a woman, it would be like, holy shit, which means it should be taken as holy shit against another guy. Like I don't think that's. I think that's totally fair in that case to be like, hey, listen, if you're slapping your boyfriend and you're also a male, you should be treated the same way as if you're slapping your girlfriend and you're a male, or your girlfriend and you're a girl. That you don't fucking attack people that you're in a relationship with. What the fuck? Digital demonic.
You can end the sentence at people. You don't.
Don't attack people. Digital demonic Davros for 5 says the only bar Nate has is a damn chocolate bar. He is useless. To be fair, chocolate bars are pretty good depending on the chocolate bar. But
yeah, I kind of want a chocolate bar right now.
This goes back to when I was talking about the bar earlier. I think it was yesterday when I was like, listen, when you take the bar, and now I'm going to apply it to Nate's like legal bar, because I'm a bit of a dick like that. I'm going to say, if you take the bar and you've buried it so far below ground that the Balrog is using it as a limbo bar, you did it wrong. Fuck. Is the video as shocking as a video of someone being shot in the head? I've never seen a video of somebody being shot in the head. I've never seen a video of somebody being shot in the head outside of, like, theatrical. So I don't think that's a fair... Yeah, okay, Nikki, do you have anything you want to say before you go?
No. I do want to see the video.
Yes. Yeah, no, fair enough. Get out of here. We'll see you later. Have a good sleep.
See you later, Nikki.
Later. I'm not sure if I want to see that video.
It's
Hearing it described,
I'm
I'm
not
already
sure.
like,
Like,
that
I
doesn't-
don't mind gratuitous violence when it comes to movies and shit, but I don't really enjoy watching YouTube fight videos or anything like that. I
Yeah.
just find it sad. I
That's
find
the-
it very sad.
It is. This video is sad. I think that it's sad, it's aggressive, and if you've been in the situation, you're gonna find it triggering. Is the video shocking as someone being shot in the head? The closest thing that I've seen to somebody that I found... I didn't find this video shocking. I wouldn't use the word shocking. But that's me and my background, so the more you know about me, the more you might understand why I might not find this shocking. Very rarely am I surprised. I think
It's
the
also
most...
an overused descriptor.
Sure.
Also, with the age of the internet, where everyone's seen freaking like 2 girls, 1 cup, so.
Fair. Okay, I think probably the most disturbing video I've ever seen that actually was just like, oh shit, like that I would describe as shocking, is that I saw like a CCTV video, which is the same kind of video that this is. I saw somebody standing outside of what I think was like a convenience store. A guy walk out, has a knife in his hand, he stabs the guy and walks away. The stabbing isn't the disturbing part. The disturbing part is that he just so happened to stab the guy between the ribs in the heart, and the guy died. He's dead. Like, that was it. That was the end. And you can see the guy going from alive to you're dead but still standing and now you're dead. And the thing that made it more disturbing was that you knew the guy was dead. He's like, no, this guy got stabbed in the heart and he died. And it was the lack of intention. The guy it didn't seem from the video that the guy intended to kill that man. He intended to stab him and get away. Like, he was like, ah! Whereas, like, this guy was just standing there, gets stabbed, and then... And that was kind of shocking to me, if in that regard. It was like, oh, okay. I've seen videos like that have kind of had that same level where it's come to, like, things that have happened to animals that have been, like, kind of disturbing to me. That I think there was one I saw that was like a Discovery Channel one, and that's like the lightest one I can think of. And it wasn't like an animal getting attacked or anything. It was just a baby elephant got lost in a sandstorm and was smart enough to follow the tracks to find the herd, but follow the tracks the wrong direction because it's a child and an idiot. And it's like, well, that elephant is dead, and that's depressing.
I've seen, seeing someone get stabbed in the heart and then you see them, the realization on their face would be pretty, like, disturbing.
The thing was, like, the realization on the face almost didn't happen. It was like they got stabbed, they were like, oh shit, I've been stabbed, but it wasn't like a realization of, I'm dead. Do you know what I mean? It was like there was like a degree of separation that happened in the person's face versus like them physically dropping.
Yeah.
They died so fast that they didn't have time to fully process
Yes.
that, I'm going to die.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was like, and it was arbitrary. Part of it was how arbitrary and how, like, left field it was, because that did not seem to be the intent. This wasn't a gun shootout. This wasn't like, oh, this person's at war. This wasn't like, oh, no, this person's just hanging out, waiting for something, and then just dead. Like, oh, okay. Yes. And it's like...
I've seen, like, one of the worst videos I've ever seen is was in one of my forensic science classes. It was, so I don't know if this counts, but it was woman coming off a motorbike going about 80 miles an hour, hitting the curb, comes off the bike, and literally bisected from between her legs up to her neck.
Yeah.
Against a tree.
Nice.
Yeah.
Metal as fuck.
I think there's something
Like,
to be
you-
said about like speed too, because like when something like that happens to you and it happens really fast, there's a disassociation that happens that you know that person didn't know what was going on. They were dead before they realized like there's no way they felt that that bisection happen, versus like you've been stabbed in the heart, you have 2 seconds. Right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know. But as far as we know, for anybody who cares, the victim in the case that we were talking about is okay. Like, they're alive, it's fine, like, there's not... Godless Scummer says that the worst thing I've seen is a video someone sent to me of ISS beheading someone. The worst thing is that it was a fucking tasteless prank. Was sent to me as packaged as a funny cat video. Yeah, that's fucked up. Like surprise, like you didn't know what you were clicking on when you clicked on it. It's the same. Like there's a lot of things that are like that, and it's super messed up. But as I've said, the internet is not a safe place. You can get sent any. It's the Bo Burnham song. It's a little bit of everything all of the time. You're scrolling through and you find a cool recipe for spaghetti, and here's how to kill your mom. Like that's the way it is. Welcome to the internet. And that's one of the things why I find it super bizarre that the people who are defending Kyle and his behavior are the same people who are like, you're not allowed to make fun of the fact that Kyle bleached his eyebrows. And it's like, listen, we're not telling him he's a bad person for that. We're just having a bit of a giggle. We're not like shitting on him as a person in that case. We're gonna shit on him as a person if he's beating his fucking his significant other. Yeah.
How did the video end? Like, what stopped the violence?
The Kyle, or well, what appears to be Kyle, moves far enough away and lets go of them, and they're able to back themselves into the corner, pull themselves out of the pool, and stand up and walk away. In the video, at least. Now, that doesn't mean that was the end of what had happened. That's just the end of what we can see in this, basically what is a security camera of the building.
So there could be another video. We don't know, but that's the
There
end of
could
that
be
video.
another video, there could be another incident, there could be more than one incident. This is just the video I saw.
So hopefully this is the only video, but that, I mean, okay. Hopefully this is the only video.
Hopefully. Well, yeah,
Well, no,
I mean,
hopefully
it
that's
kind
all
of
that happened.
Oh,
If more
yeah,
happened,
exactly.
Then I hope there is video.
Yeah, I agree with that. Somebody's asking, how was the video released and to whom? The answer is that Steve had the video. Steve's confirming some shit before he releases it and decided, like, he's kind of mulling over, like, how to put it out. About, like, he's like, oh, do I start it at this point? Do I, like, because there's, like, some nothing happening for a while on the video, so he's like, well, what do I do with it? And he wants to be
Because
sure
now we've
that...
talked about the video so much, if we don't really, like, if it doesn't get released, you know them are crazies, or the bitchmaker brigade are just gonna be like, they keep talking about a video, but they don't produce the video. Suspicious.
From what Steve told me, it's likely that the video will either be out tomorrow, or it will be the next day. It'll be before the end of the week at the very least. The only reason the video at this point will probably be delayed is if there's more that keeps coming. So it's one of those, you know what I mean, where it's just
that's
like
possible.
Right, it's not, that's certainly not impossible. That's the most likely thing to prevent the video from being released. The video will have a trigger warning on it, as far as I know. It will be on Steve's channel, so if you want it, you need to go there to find it. It won't be over here.
But Chesh, if it
could
doesn't
be
come out in the next
interesting.
6 hours, then I call bullshit.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that was Defango, and I'm like, oh, Defango, fucking, he was sitting around, he was like, let me copy exactly what Unirock would say. If it's not released within the next 6 hours, it's fake news. Sorry, go ahead.
It might be interesting to FOIA the body cam footage of the actual arrest.
That might exist, that might not exist. If anything is going to prevent... That would... I have thoughts. Okay, let me organize my brain for a second. If If they
I would
arrested
like there to be,
him,
wacky sound effects over the arrest, if possible.
okay, noted. If he got arrested for simple assault, does that mean that the simple assault is what we saw in the video, or did the police show up to question him and then he was like berating the officer? Right? The answer is we don't know, and until we do, it's hard to say. I believe, and I agree with Steve in that I think that this charge will get escalated, and that this was like, hey, listen, we can grab him on this period, and we're just gonna grab him just to stop what the fuck is happening, and then we can figure out the details afterward, like prevent and then figure it out, right? And so worst case scenario is if Kyle's 100% in the clear, he spends the 3 days, like a weekend equivalent in the clink, and then he's whatever, he's free to go, no harm, no foul. And me and Steve and Reds, I assure you, if we find out that this was not Kyle, the first video we're gonna do is the three of us being like, holy shit, it wasn't Kyle, it was this whole other guy, holy fuck, right? Like, that's never been a thing that doesn't happen, right?
Right. So,
it's, I don't know, there's a lot of information to take in. There's a lot, and I only watched it once, and I actually watched it sped up a little bit so I could get on here to talk again, and on regular speed, I imagine it's a little bit more impactful. As it's the yelling, right? It's the yelling, and sometimes it's an open hand light hit, and sometimes it's opened and closes. It's the yeah, you're open hand hitting somebody, but you're open hand hitting somebody and you're splashing water in the rest of their face because you're in a pool, you fucking dick. Some people are into that stuff, so at the beginning of the video, it's like, oh, this seems playful, you know, maybe they're into that. I don't know. If somebody hits me in the face, I will kick you in the dick. No. Nuh-uh. No, I don't play that game. Some people are into that. I'm not into that. But I'm not going to judge. So if they're into that, and the beginning of the video is them being into that, which I'm not convinced it is, because that guy kind of, to me, comes off as a little bit defensive right out the gate. Just the fact that he's in the corner of the pool is a defensive position from the get-go. That's just my interpretation. But I ain't into that shit. So I'm maybe giving more charity than should be given for somebody who is into that shit. So if there is somebody who is into like face slapping, maybe they would have an easier time recognizing when things have escalated to this was not okay. I could, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I was just saying I could probably take a look, but to be honest, from what you're describing, it just sounds like a clear case of abuse. I mean, everyone on all them, you know, everyone knows from Twitter that I can't get like a hard on without beating up a woman first, so I should be able to tell you the difference.
The thing is that where I take the stance of this was not okay was when I saw the victim start being defensive. But because the victim is back to us in this video, so we can't see their face, we can't really see their arms too much outside of when it sticks out the side, I was like, okay, this is definitely... There were times where I thought beforehand, whereas it looks like they're starting to be defensive, but I'm not sure, and then it's like, no, that's defensive. They do not want to be hit in the face right now. Right? And as soon as you're hitting somebody in the face that doesn't want to be hit in the face, you're crossing a line, in my humble opinion.
That's a fair take. I gotta respect that.
Yeah, I said the similar things when I was talking to that libertarian the other day. It's just that your right to swing your fist does end at my face, and he just didn't understand it. I'm like, but if you're going out and making people sick, that's on you. You know, if you're out there like swinging your fists around, that ends as soon as you hit someone, especially in a public setting. Like there are times and places you can do stuff like that, like in a consensual relationship type. But yeah, that's not
there's a
going to
reason
happen.
boxing is okay and going around beating people randomly isn't.
Precisely.
It has to do with this little thing called consent.
Yeah, I'm fine with libertarians getting diseases that they can't pass on to other people.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of a libertarian myself, but I cannot stand what the libertarian communities are acting out on with regard to COVID. It's pissing me off.
Freedom. It's about my freedom, bro. That's literally all it kept. Freedom.
It's like they don't understand diseases spread, so it's like you guys are just making the world unsafe for everyone, including the vaccinated, because breakthrough cases are a thing and people do die from it.
Rodden, the last name says, knowing a lot of people in BDSM relationships, they rarely engage in physicality in public.
Yeah, like even myself, I like a little bit of public, but not like in a crowd of normies. Like that's just not going to happen.
Well, okay, so in their defense, okay, so again, I'm not going to engage in any kind of apologetics for abuse, but what I am going to say is that they are alone. There is no public. It is a public space, but there's nobody else in this video. There's nobody around that this is happening, right? There's nobody. There's not like a third or fourth or fifth party to witness this. So if you're like in a pool and it's only the two of you and you're gonna engage in some BDSM play, then it would I don't necessarily consider what happened to be something that happened in public, I would say.
Even so, here's another thing. Pools are dangerous for that kind of thing. You're not being responsible with your play if you're engaging in hitting people in the head while in a pool. Nope.
Yeah, there was some aggressive, like I would have a hard time unless there was very clear audio. Unless there was very clear audio of it being like, nope, this was consensual and this was play. The back of the head pull, grab, slap with water. Nope. Nope. Now that might just be my own don't hit me in the face thing that I'm about. Don't hit me in the face.
I'm thinking even if it was consensual, like if they don't have anyone else around and he accidentally knocks him out and doesn't have the strength to pull him out of the water, then he fucked up.
The thing that tipped me off that this was like getting into not okay was I think that the aggressor would have gone further if they thought that they would be able to. So not only between like socially because they were alone, but physically. I think if I got the vibe that had the aggressor been like physically capable of, like if they were larger, if they were stronger, that they would have gone further if they could have, but they didn't because they couldn't. Okay, you know what I mean?
I think given the paperwork that came out afterwards, we really don't have to, guess too much on that. I don't think that we don't have to worry about, guessing whether or not there was any consent in this situation.
Yeah, I mean the TRO is out there for anybody who wants to find it. Only one person in the chat asked me to pull it up, so I didn't bother. But
and this is a situation where he was in a pool alone with a person that he should have been able to trust more than anyone else, and
allegedly,
in return, he did put him in a very dangerous situation by hitting him in the head while he was in a pool, which would have been put him in a very precarious situation where drowning would have been a very real danger. Like it is very awful. Like this is something that you wouldn't do to somebody you hated.
Yeah, there's if you trust somebody, then you engage in play consensually, right? If you want to engage in something that might be a little bit dangerous, you take the precautions that are necessary for that to counteract that danger, right? In this case, something that I noticed was that Kyle got arrested at 14:30-ish. So he got arrested at 2:30 in the afternoon at a bar for this. But visually in this video, it doesn't look like 2 in the afternoon. This is something that looks...
he went to the bar to, like, forget?
No, I think this happened the night before, and then he went to the bar that afternoon. Like, the next afternoon. I don't know. That's my speculation. That is absolutely 100% speculation, but it doesn't... It looks like it's closer to nighttime than it is in, like, 12 p.m. But what do I know, right?
Don't think it could be early in the morning?
Maybe I'd have to look.
No
Hold
one
on,
goes swimming early in the.
Wait
early
a second.
In the morning,
I still have access to this. I'm gonna look at it again.
I'm just saying, like, not too many people are up at like 4 a.m. going swimming.
Were they the only people at a
Oh,
school?
no, I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. This is absolutely daytime. This is absolutely like noon, the middle of the day that this is going on at. And then there's like, this is all day. I don't know why my brain went to this as nighttime. No, this is all daytime. All of this is in the day.
I mean,
I can see the shadow. I can see the shadows. It's color. I can see the shadows for the chairs. It is. This is noon. This is like we got into this and then I left. If this was at the same day, I don't. There's no timestamp on the video, but.
So
this is
he
why
was
double
arrested
check those things.
within hours of this incident.
It appears to be the case, but I will also note that this did not take place at the bar where he was arrested. There's no way that's the bar where I don't believe. There's no way. What does that bar have, like a fucking like skyrise pool on it? No. I don't think so.
Well, his hair wasn't wet in his mugshot.
Well, it doesn't. To be fair, his hair's pretty thin, so it probably won't take long to dry.
Yeah.
Oof.
Also, anyone, saying anything about anyone up at 4 a.m. I feel personally attacked. Okay, because I'm up at 4 a.m.
No, it's not being up. It's going swimming. It's like the worst time to go swimming.
He also looks like he had time to get dressed in the mugshot. If you look at it, he's wearing a regular shirt.
Mm-hmm. Don't people? There's like a statistic about people who die between like 2 and something, right?
I don't know. There might be.
That sounds super vague.
I mean, I've heard a lot of. I've heard stories in like actual news stories of like couples dying while intoxicated, like late at night. While swimming.
That sounds likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, drunk people swimming at late at night sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Really?
They one case they went out in like a kayak or a canoe together and they had no life vests and like the middle of like it wasn't even like a big lake or something, it was like just like kind of like a deepish pond and they died.
Yeah, don't go swimming when you've been drinking or you're intoxicated. That's just a bad idea all
At least
around.
put a life jacket on, for fuck's sake. That's what they're there for.
Get some water wings. Something.
Can I rub a ring?
Godless Scummer is saying that there's... So, while we were live before this hangout, which is more to get your guys' like my reaction to the video and your guys' sort of response to what's been going on, somebody had said in the past video that Menace was already engaging in apologetics, and now Godless Scummer is saying fucking Menace to sobriety on Twitter, and now I'm like, what? Why? What? No. And so now I'm just waiting. Please, no.
Well,
what do you guys think, though? Because you guys haven't seen anything. You guys only heard shit. So what are your thoughts so far?
Oh, I'm just saddened in general that this whole thing had to come to pass. I was happy to hear that Kyle had been arrested finally, and he's finally being served. Because he's been served. Has he been served yet? I don't know. Has he been served?
He was served in jail. Cause
yes.
Yeah, but he doesn't live in jail, so it doesn't count. That's not his whole record, so I don't know.
But
I mean, this is like the fourth
jail
time
is his
Carl's
usual place of abode.
This is like the fourth time that Carl's been
It's
served
starting
on
to
this
sound like
one
the
issue.
address on his arrest thing is his secondary address. The jail is his primary.
Can we get to Larry? So Louis Theroux's done plenty of documentaries in prisons, and can we get him to do a documentary of Kyle in prison?
I just opened. Godless Scummer sent me the screenshot, and
You broke Chesh.
Oh, I'm gonna show it to you guys.
I kind of want Sacha Baron Cohen to play Kyle for this whole story.
I don't want to see it.
I got a feeling I won't be shocked.
Get out of the call, Rez. I'm kidding.
Golly.
I'm gonna show it to you guys, and so that way the outside can see it too. I don't know if that's. I gotta put my glasses back on because this was like this is horrible.
I have to wait for the stream to I can't do this.
No, you can see it on the external.
It just takes a while to load.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by anything I'm reading here.
I'm not shocked, but I'm also like, my brain is also just not. What? You don't know us. Why are you discounting us?
He
when
doesn't
you
know what it shows.
Nothing. He doesn't.
He's discounting what the guy went through if it was actually serious.
Well, he's not. He's not just discounting that victim, he's also discounting anything that either Reds or Steve or I have been through in the entirety of our lives.
Yeah. Do the you know what you said at the beginning, if you change the genders it'd be completely unacceptable.
I can't believe they're saying you're all mouth and haven't been in an altercation. Like, that's a thing to be proud of? Like
that even matters in this fucking...
Like, okay, let's say you're a dumbass that likes to go around beating people up all the time. Okay, great. That doesn't mean this is okay.
It's not normal to slap people. It's not normal to slap the person that is the best person in your life.
I'm gonna go pee, and I'm gonna leave this up.
You're forgetting these are people with zero life experience.
Well, Menace does have life experience assaulting people that he doesn't consider honorable, in his own words.
Well, I mean, Menace does have life experience, allegedly selling drugs to kids.
Come on, Menace. What are you doing, boy?
Sure, if you consider
straighten up
destroying
and
other
fly right.
people's lives experience.
But yeah, this is what they consider, because he's part of the team. He's part of the good guys team. So this is that righteous indignation. This is good and okay because they're the good guys.
I don't understand the whole
He's
thing.
standing up to our
slap.
evil.
Some people aren't physically inclined. The fact that they're men doesn't change that.
And it's not like any of us are cowering over watching a video either. It's just a stupid thing to be seeing. It's a stupid reason to be like. There's no reason that there needs to be any fight in a bar in the first place.
I'm sorry. Do we need to be
one's
meatheads and
happy.
butt heads all the time to be men? Like, I don't understand this comment. Like, what the hell is he saying?
He's saying that when somebody beats up their lover, that it's not a big deal, and that if Chesh was really beat up, like if she really knew what it was like to get a real whooping, she'd know better. Like, that's kind of what he's saying.
Yeah, I'd slap him in the next Tuesday.
So apparently you haven't been beaten up enough to know what being beat up is? Great.
Yeah.
Should we want to know that?
It's not just like a general. This is Steve and Reds. Steve being in the army, and this is the guy who allegedly is not stalking me, is maybe stalking me, or was stalking me, knew where I lived, and could attack me if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to for some reason, even though he would have before, but, you know, take
Yeah,
that
he's
however you
three-door.
want.
I mean, I would go how I would take it if I were you. I would take it to the local police.
It seems like he tried to toe the line and also smear it with his foot on both sides.
This is like a bizarre... Okay, I'm going to read this out for anybody who's watching and who can't see the video. And it says, Menace to Sobriety had tweeted out, Steve and Reds were just beside themselves watching a video that allegedly shows Kyle slapping someone repeatedly and trying to pull/push them into a pool. More proof they're all mouth and have never been in a physical altercation in their lives. Real tough guys, cower over a slap. Bitch, did you watch the video? Did you watch the video? Because if you didn't watch the video and you didn't listen to what the fuck Steve and Reds actually said, they didn't just say a slap. They said it was like, hey, listen, there's play slap and then there's abuse. This is apologetics. This is apologetics before he's actually known what he hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen it.
Like, can I just point out, like,
I told you that he was doing apologetics already in the previous stream.
Yeah, and somebody else has said that. You said that, but somebody else has said... Was that you that said that, actually?
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't only apologetics. This is like real scummy, like redneck-ass apologetics.
Can I just say...
Yeah, this is like...
Have you noticed that every time something is brought up regarding anything regarding this, they somehow manage to twist it back onto Steve, even if it's not about Steve. Every time.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, that's fair. There's a victim here that someone has assaulted, but it's Steve's fault. It's always about Steve.
Like, he's literally twisting it so that apparently Steve is the subject and not the victim.
Steve hasn't been whooped hard enough to understand the victim.
I mean, I think that he hasn't been slapped hard enough. I don't think Menace has ever been slapped by a real man, because I'd knock him into next Tuesday with open hand.
Well, then that's the question, right? In that video, because I've seen the video, and I'm sure you guys will get your opportunity to see it by the end of the week. Not all of those were open hand. Like I said, when Steve was describing it and Reds was describing it, it was like, I assure you, considering how charitable the both of them are, I assure you that I will not view this the same way they do. On top of that is that you swap that. Change the genders, Menace. Swap the genders, and you tell me, oh yeah, this dude slapped his girlfriend. Look at Steve and Reds being pussies about it. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, that's the part that I don't understand. Let's say that this is like 0.1% as bad as it could possibly have escalated to. So what? It's still unacceptable.
Yes. Menace says he's never hit a woman, but I don't really believe that.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, press X
He
it out.
said he would have gone after me if he wanted to at the time.
He just didn't feel like it. Like, you know, he wasn't bored enough. You know, he had something else to do. But if he ran out of things to do, though,
Chesh is getting a slapping.
3 doors down.
No, he said if he wanted to give me a slapping, he would have, and he knew where to find me if he wanted to. But right now, he doesn't want to. As if that's not a fucking threat.
Clearly.
That's a weird thing to say. Like, there's no reason to point that out.
It's a weird thing to say, but it's a weird thing to say on your excuse for not stalking Steve is that you can't get across the border because of your criminal history, whereas I'm not across the border. And when I point that out, your response is, oh, well, I could have gone after you and stalked you and assaulted you if I wanted to, but I didn't want to, so I would have done it a long time ago. Except that Menace's behavior is consistently escalating and getting worse and worse and more aggressive. So what's that to put... And again, what I had done in my tweet initially was that I'm not really that concerned for my own safety, whatever, but I have a dog. Now, that doesn't mean that I think Menace is going to attack my dog. What it means that if I call the police, there's a decent chance that my dog could get injured in that kind of altercation because my dog is not a police-trained dog. My dog is not trained to go lie down in the corner if the police come busting in my fucking door, even if it's to my defense. Right? My dog is at danger in general. And, of course, you've got people who don't understand dick about the police or dick about dogs being like, oh my god, Chesh is saying Menace is gonna attack her dog. No, I don't think Menace is gonna attack my dog, but I think if there's an altercation with Menace, that the police get called in, then my dog is at risk, period, end of sentence. If there is an altercation, period, end of sentence, there is a risk for my dog. So
I can't be the only one noticing his name begins with Menace.
Menace to sobriety, and I'm not drunk enough to read his tweets. It ain't fucking wrong, but what I thought was like a funny name to be like, oh yeah, no, I say dumb things and I make people drink because of how stupid I am, is actually a lot darker than I thought it was when I found out that he's actually been convicted for dealing drugs. Awkward.
Which does not at all surprise me.
Awkward.
Allegedly to children.
Admittedly to children. He said that.
Yeah, but we can't take anything he says at face value.
Yeah, true. It could be saying
I
that
don't mind
himself
taking things that he says about himself that show what his piece of shit he is at face value.
Well,
That's
I don't
fair.
trust the things that he says because he says them.
Yeah, look at who he runs with.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, when he makes himself seem like more of a piece of shit, I don't have a problem with taking that at face value.
Yeah, to be
Anything
fair,
else?
Yeah,
he
that's
does that a lot.
To be fair, that's actually consistent with his pattern of behavior. So I mean,
That actually
you know,
is. It makes me
there's that
question.
circumstantial evidence, if nothing else.
Yeah, no, it makes me question Ethan/Prolib, who's like, oh, I'm a victim of all these crimes against me when I was a child, and it's like, yeah, that's fucking horrible, but look at the people he's running with, and look at the apologetics that he's engaged in when it comes to these people. On Dumbfuck Friday, I was planning on looking at his video and checking out the side chat in particular, because I thought the side chat interested me in what's gone on. And it's like, you were saying privately to Kyle that you needed to publicly call him out, implying that privately what? And keep in mind that
Yeah,
Menace is also the same person who threatened Keon. As soon as Keon left the like, quote-unquote, left the cult, immediately Keon was threatened by Menace. Like, physically threatened.
Shocker. Yeah, the publicly bit it's a weird thing to include, because
yeah.
I don't really start sentences with publicly, because I don't like it. Yeah, I'm not going to publicly encourage you to do one thing and then privately do something. Yeah, it strongly implies that he's like, well, in order for me to save face, you know, I got to publicly say.
That's exactly it. I said that yesterday. I was like, that's exactly what he's saying. He's like saying, I have to save face in public.
Yeah. Now, can I prove
I want to
that?
reiterate. I want to reiterate that he never actually did publicly encourage Kyle to turn himself in. He told Kyle that that's what he should do. He said,
Well,
you know, I have to.
Kind of.
I'm actually
He
going to be
said
fair
that's
to
what
Ethan
he
here.
told Kyle.
Because Ethan was saying that this was something he was going to do during their interview, which was supposed to take place, I think, like today, which obviously didn't.
Thursday.
So I would say that I wouldn't expect him to like just tweet at the void like, "Oh, Kyle should turn himself in."
Yeah, but
And I
this
would
was
expect that if
months
he was
ago,
gonna
right? So there was
it?
like...
I thought this was only a few days ago.
No. So there was an incident a few days ago where he was showing his Discord DM saying publicly, I need to call you out. But there was over a month ago where he made a tweet saying he was speaking for Kyle, and Manya went in and said, why are you speaking for a criminal publicly? What are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm gonna tell him that he should turn himself in. And then a month later, he's like, oh, I'm definitely gonna publicly tell you need to turn yourself in.
All right, yeah, never mind then. I withdraw any partial defense.
The thing that I want to defend Ethan on is I've had a couple of interactions before all this blow up with Ethan, like before the non sequitur blow up. I think it was before the non sequitur. I have the screenshots I think saved in my fucking.
How big is your hard drive?
In my Google Drive. Don't worry about it. How dare you ask a woman a question about how big their Google Drive is? a woman allegedly, and it depends on who you ask. I had a conversation with him where he got really upset over something that nobody fucking said, and it took like a half a day to, like, you had to invest a lot of time to be like, no, that's not what anybody was saying. I understand why you're upset. I understand that you're triggered, and I don't mean triggered in like the haha you're triggered sense. No, I mean like you're a victim who has been upset by what's gone on. Like Ethan is probably one of the people that I would not recommend watch this video. Right? That where it's like you are emotionally led, you are easily triggered by stuff like this. And that's not to say that these are negative qualities. These are bad traits to have. It's just the way it's more of an assessment of the way things are. You just are this way, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is it comes to who do you decide to surround yourself with is where you run into issues. If you've got somebody who is easily emotionally led because they're they're an emotionally driven person, then and they surround themselves with people who are going to take advantage of that to drive them in a direction against somebody else, you're being weaponized and your trauma is being weaponized against somebody. Right? Versus like, hey, listen, I'm saying that you ought not to watch this video because I'm concerned for your mental health. I'm not your friend. I'm not friends with Ethan. This guy fucking falsely reported me to some shit, said he was gonna apologize to me, and then ran the fuck off the internet. I'm not this guy's friend. I don't give a shit. But that doesn't mean I want unnecessary trauma to be brought upon somebody that appears to me to be somebody who is going to be easily negatively affected by this kind of a video. So I would recommend that if he's going to watch it, be tentative. Take caution in understand what you're getting into when you do it, and make sure you have a good support system around you. I am of the opinion that I don't think Ethan has a good fucking support system around him. I think that people around him are fucking douchebags. And tell you what, we'll see on Dumbfuck Friday when we see who's in his fucking live chat. Ooh. Challenge accepted, bitch.
I like the test with Spunky.
I'm of the opinion that ProLib, just like the rest of them, don't deserve any charity, and you guys need to learn that lesson.
That's actually one of the questions I intend on asking my chat at the beginning of Dumbfuck Friday. I'm like, hey, listen, this is what we're talking about today. This is what we're getting into. You tell me, do you guys think I should do my regular where I'm giving as much charity as possible? Do you think I should give no charity, or do you think I should just assume the fucking worst? 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, I think there is that distinction between like not being charitable versus just like going with the absolute worst possible interpretation.
Yes.
Because I don't think that's ever a reasonable thing to do, which is just always go for the worst possible situation, because it's usually not the case. But
except that with these
charity,
people, they have proved it time and time again.
Well, no, it could always be a lot worse. There's not one of them who couldn't be worse.
Yeah, and going with the worst possible interpretation.
I have not had Menace knock on my door as yet, so
right.
There is a worse to be had.
Yeah,
I would say we got to leave them room for negative growth, because they will get worse. If we assume the worst now, then we'll be surprised when they exceed it.
I mean, they've not done nothing but get worse since. So.
Oh, I'm sure they're going to keep getting worse, but also they're not the worst that they could be. I mean, for one thing, so far, no one has been killed.
Yeah.
Ah, well, depends on who you fucking ask, doesn't it?
Right.
Does it?
That's
what are we
true.
talking about?
If you ask the people that Paulogia is fucking supporting, then yes, somebody has been killed by us.
Right. The you guys Epsteined your friend. That makes sense.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Thanks, Paul, you fucking asshole.
You look at the grassy knoll.
You have no idea how many people were like, talk to Paul before you talk about this, and I've been like, I have attempted, but also I'm not his friend. So what position am I in to fucking send him that kind of a message? Multiple people sent Paulogia messages to be like, what the fuck about Batty and Boole, and he didn't answer, or he didn't get back to them in enough a period of time before my video came out. I have no patience for that shit.
Batty is now claiming that we killed Boole.
He has been for months.
Yep.
Yeah, for a long time he's been claiming that. He has an entire website dedicated to it. Oh my god.
The website that is linked in Paulogia's description, to be clear.
That's
what's
bad.
Paulogia is supporting a website that says that we murdered Boole. Well, his girlfriend / wife, Shannon Q, is on fucking a channel that is dedicated and is being paid for by Jimmy Snow and Nate Brody and Dragnot and Matt Dillahunty and Vice Rhino. What do you want me to tell you?
What I want you to tell me is what's the what's the motivation behind the murder?
Better than people, but I'm always disappointed.
Same. Like, what the fuck is going on with
learn
this?
this lesson, guys.
It's not hard to get the facts of this case.
Like,
and why?
Well, hold on. What does Batty say is the reason that you did it?
I don't know. Go watch it. Go read it. Go to Paulogia's channel and find Batty's fucking website and fucking read it.
No, and it's not only that. Why does he say he doesn't just like that's not even the thing. I mean, oh my God.
The whole time, these motherfuckers have been supporting Kyle. By the way, you go find me the tweet or the message that denounces or that speaks in Steve's favor and not Kyle's on Paulogia's channel or even Shannon's channel. Not to mention the not able to be found anymore because Demi deleted her fucking channel. Shannon commenting on Demi's channel, calling Steve a fraud, saying, yeah, good job, this is a great video.
And people wonder why I say Shannon's a garbage person.
Oh, for sure. I agree.
This isn't a matter of throwing shade at this point. This isn't a matter of who's friends with who point. This is a matter of Paulogia has a video featuring Batty Hovind, who is accusing us of murdering Boole, who Paul says he was friends with, or friendly with, or is sad that he died.
Who the hell is Boole, and why would anyone want him dead?
Good question. Next question.
The first question is
you're a bit behind.
Boole was the producer for Non Sequitur Show.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a rhetorical question.
Bullionator.
I see. So that's a strange accusation.
You think?
Yes. Yes, it is.
You've got a video or more. I have to double check, but I know one for sure, of Paulogia featuring Batty against Hovind. However, in the fine, okay, let's grant the charity. Let's say like, okay, whatever, you have Batty on because fuck Kent Hovind. Okay, sure.
Which fair.
then you link in your description not only Batty's website that has him accusing us of murdering Boole, and pictures of Boole's autopsy report, but also has a link to Nate Brody, and to fucking Caitlin Chloe. How are all these people related? I don't fucking know. Meanwhile, his girlfriend/wife is on Jimmy Snow's channel with Matt Dillahunty, Dragnot, and Nate Brody. And vice versa.
It's almost like these people don't give a shit about anything but themselves.
It's almost like... I didn't do it.
Uh-oh.
I didn't break anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
I shattered reality with my very inane comment. That's very true.
That's what it feels like. At the end of the day, like, you've already got, like, look, I'm showing this comment. Boole was a boy lover.
Okay, what was that?
There are people who there are people that are accusing Boole of child porn. Like, this is what the fuck is going on. No. Don't fucking hide the message. Don't hide the message. Post it again, bitch. Post it again. There are people that are accusing Boole of fucking child porn, and the people enabling this behavior are, at this point, Shannon and Paulogia. Weren't they friends with Boole? I'm sorry, I thought they only had issues with Steve. Or are we gonna backpedal that and say that, like, oh, no, Boole was problematic too?
What did Boole ever do that was problematic in his fucking life?
For context, Mr. Brian Oblivion in chat said Boole was a boy lover.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's what was said in the chat.
You know, kick people when they're dead. That is, I mean, come on. Can you be... I don't understand this. We're the bad guys, though. We're the bad guys.
Yeah, I know. Shit, of course.
People come in and they kick our dead friends while they're down.
I busted my wine glass, by the way, for anybody who cares. But that was because I'm so mad about this.
It sounded loud.
I'm so mad about this shit. Like, what the fuck?
Keon has an interesting point in the chat, by the way. He says the GDC defectors lied to me. They said they disavowed Batty at the moment he was posting his creepy investigation on Boole.
Since when?
Yeah, I'm not...
Where?
Yeah.
Show me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that they said that to him.
Oh, I agree with that, but where do they actually follow through is the question.
Oh, yeah. Where's the actual denunciation?
Yeah, where's the video, the tweet, the one sentence, somewhere, anything?
What about that time that Ilya got, like, I mean, I know we don't like Ilya because she's a bitch, but when the fuck, where was that, oh, Ilya got doxxed and she was getting messages in her DMs from people like fucking Fiona and Exiled saying that, oh, it's so horrible you got doxxed, but no fucking public anything. Yeah, fuck off.
Yep, just because I don't like someone doesn't mean I want them doxxed.
No, don't dox any. I don't want Kyle doxxed. I don't want anybody doxxed. Nobody should be doxxed because doxing doesn't do.
Kyle's in jail.
Doxing doesn't do a single fucking positive thing. Doxing is either accidental or it's malicious. There is no in between. There's no benefit to doxing somebody except, hey, fuck that guy in particular.
Oh, and if you want an example of, even if you don't care about the person that you're trying to dox, why it's still a bad idea? Remember that time that an American musician tried to dox someone involved in a shooting, and he doxed the wrong address, and so some elderly couple's house was repeatedly had rocks thrown through it, and people trying to break into it, and they had to move.
That happened to me. Yeah. Somebody tried to dox me, and they got it wrong, and so some poor fucking person in a whole different city got fucking doxed.
Yep.
And so people are going there thinking that they're going after me, and they're going after the wrong person entirely. Not that I deserve to be gone after either.
Hey, Mr. Brian Oblivion has a question in chat. I'm sure chat can answer that, but apparently he wants to accuse somebody of having child porn because of his absolutely dipshit question that for some reason it has only one answer. It's child porn. Why else would somebody destroy a computer? It has to be child porn. It's the only explanation,
all right,
guys.
Well, tell you what, Mr. Brian Oblivion, give me your computer, write it to me off in your will when you're dead, and I'll destroy it, and I'm sure people will think you were,
Look, there could be all sorts of other nefarious shit, you know, even if it's just pirated movies.
Or, yeah, it could be like plans. It
tell
could be like plans to assassinate the president of the United States.
Or hear me out. It could be a long since going meme that it's a general idea that you destroy your friends' fucking hard drives when they die because it's so much of a meme that it's in fucking anime or something. Wow.
Yes, the bro code destroy the porn stash.
Mr. Brian, when his father was cremated, it's because his ass was filled with child porn.
Did you know that? Did you know that President
filled with child porn?
President Lincoln was only buried in cement because of all the child porn he kept in his chest cavity. You fucking asshole.
That's the only reason why he would have been cremated or buried, because his ass must have been filled with child porn. You hear that, Mr. Brian Oblivion? That's the only reason it makes any sense. You know how stupid that fucking sounds? Dipshit.
And Frida has the correct answer in chat.
Yeah, actually.
Well, read it. Don't just say it's the correct answer. Read the fucking shit. I'm cleaning up wine that I knocked everywhere because I was pissed off, and you guys are just derping around.
I thought you would read it. Okay, so
you can see me.
If Bull felt not actually looking at the call. If Bull felt any guilt at all for his internet activities, it was because he showed Katie Joy how to do videos and live stream.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
I did recently say what did Bull ever do in his life, but yeah, okay, I take it back. That was the one unforgivable thing that Bull ever did, and other than that though, stand-up guy. But then again, it was Steve who brought Kent Hovind back onto the internet, so fuck you too, Steve.
No, I mean,
to be fair, I think that was probably...
Did you really expect he wasn't going to come back? I mean, it was kind of inevitable.
Yeah, because he sucks at technology. He still can't figure it out.
Yeah, I feel like you can bring Ken Hovind's return back to Ken Ham's debate with Bill Nye.
Ooh, spicy?
Did that happen first?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Because that whole debate funded the Ark, and that like gave a whole lot of religious fervor, especially on the internet, and then allowed Ken Ham to start his show. And then once what's his face, but Hovind had got more stable after getting out of prison for being a fucking tax fraud.
Well, interestingly,
I still don't understand why Nye thought that was a good idea. Like, you're not going to convince that crowd, and the best you could do really is do it in a venue that isn't going to reach just people that want to hear Ken Ham.
I do know of some former Young Earth creationists for whom that debate was actually the turning point in them leaving Young Earth creationism. So I don't know. It's one of those things where it's really hard to say on net, was it a positive or a negative thing? There were certainly a lot of negatives. I personally am suspicious that it was a good thing overall, but like, I know people for whom it was a positive experience in terms of leaving that belief.
I think it's one of
those... a positive experience for Ken Ham. He made a shit ton of money off of that.
I think there's a difference. Yeah. There's a difference between like individual versus general. So it might have been a general gain for Ken Ham, but a lot of individual gain for Bill Nye.
Okay, so can I just point this out? Mr. Brian Oblivion in chat. I didn't want those fucking messages hidden because I wanted this. Anyway,
it's okay. I'll say
it on the video.
Two things, Rez. Just so you know, even if he gets timed out because the live chat is in the video, it will still show.
That's a good point. But I want it on the fucking video, on audio, because this is the kind of people we're talking about that are on the other side, fucking defending people like Kyle. He says, lol. he deserved what he got. Who the fuck are you? Besides a fucking oxygen-wasting piece of shit.
Well, I mean, that's what we'll all say when he's gone.
Well, I mean, it's easy to accuse people when they're not around to fucking defend themselves, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the only time you can kick anybody.
Well, and the other answer
who deserved
is...
what who got? I'm sorry, I'm like losing the context of who he was defending and attacking in that.
He's just attacking Bull. There's no defense
He said
here.
Bull deserved what he got.
Oh, it was Bull that I was wondering if he thought the person in the pool deserved it. Okay.
No, I'm saying these are the kinds of people that are defending people like Kyle and Menace and all those other fuckers.
I'm sorry, if Bull deserved death, then where does that put Kyle? Bull, who has no evidence against him whatsoever, even if said evidence was destroyed. There's evidence of Kyle. So if Bull deserved it, whether there is or is not evidence, where does that put people who there is evidence against? Like Kyle and
or for
Nate,
doing much worse things.
and Katie Joy, and etc. and Menace, etc., etc., etc. And this is the thing. Where, based on what? You want to make... This is why we have a standing rule. You don't address accusations, because anybody can accuse anybody of anything. That's absolutely worthless. What are you basing your accusations on? And yes, I did get a new glass.
Jess, when did you stop beating your wife? Why won't you answer me?
Bitch, I live alone. For a reason.
Did you break the bottle or did you break your glass?
No, bottle's fine. I knocked the glass.
The only correct response to that question is, what did you think I stopped?
Oh, hey, look, all the trolls are coming in.
Redneck Rocket Boy.
Well, they've been in here for a while. They've just been showing their ass. They wanted to give us some examples of the things that we've been talking about for a while. They wanted to prove us correct, which is weird. It's weird that they do that.
It's
like,
kind
not only
of
do we have a
actually...
stream that goes on.
It's interesting that they get... Sorry, it's interesting that they get timed out but not banned, by the way, and that as much as they claim about censorship, all their comments are right here on the video.
Yeah, so thanks, guys. We did bloviate for a long time about what you guys, are capable of, but it's really nice when you come in and actually prove us correct afterwards. So, thanks.
It's almost as if these idiots take us seriously when we're on one of these after show hangouts or pre-show hangouts, or just 5-hour drinking streams.
I mean, there's a degree of seriousness depending on the topic, right? Like, I would agree that there's a degree of what we're talking about that is serious. Like,
yeah, for sure.
If Kyle's running around beating somebody, that's fucking serious. But you notice how it's like, well, whataboutism immediately. It's like, oh, okay, well, Bull was a bad person. Okay, one, prove it. Prove it to me. Show me why, what reasoning are you using to make that accusation? And 2, what the fuck does that have to do with Kyle's current bullshittery? And you show me how those are connected. And then maybe we have a conversation on our hands. But until you have that kind of a conversation on our hands, until you can make that connection that, oh, well, actually, Kyle's only beating his boyfriend because some shit Bull did. Well, unless you can demonstrate that, you don't have anything.
And the big question, that's the one I've been asking over and over, is why do they care so much? This is just silly nonsense. And Bull's dead anyway at this point.
Well,
do they really think they're going to uncover some sort of giant conspiracy?
No, they're equivocating. They're saying that Bull deserved 100%, just like natural causes.
Yeah, it was, I believe, a stroke.
It's not anyone's
The
business besides
family
the family.
hasn't made it public.
Okay,
So
sorry, I must have misheard something.
Natural causes.
Natural causes. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Natural causes, and the coroner didn't see any reason for an investigation beyond it.
Let's
There's no reason
give
for them to be saying
Brian.
anything about murder. Then it's just stupid.
Correct.
You think?
Correct.
Okay, so let's give Mr. Brian Oblivion the best charity we can. Bull deserved 100% that he got, meaning that Bull deserved to die eventually of natural causes in peace. Versus Kyle, who's gonna get 100% of what he deserved, which is fucking jail. In which case, I guess we all agree.
It's probably prison too at this point.
Well, yes. Yeah, also that. And, like, being horribly... Can anyone prove natural causes? That would be the coroner. If you want to question that, you'll have to call the coroner.
I
can
they do a thing called
how it's gonna go,
autopsy.
though.
Well, you see, this is how it works. When the coroner, who has a job of proving cause of death, when he had Bull's body, he proved cause of death, which was natural causes. So, yes, somebody did prove the cause of death when they had Bull's body, who had the job of proving the cause of death, and they proved natural causes.
So
you know, go figure.
Here's the thing.
Saying the word proof, but
If
when it comes to,
Brian would like to question whether or not it was natural causes, we are not the people you need to ask. We are basing this off of the autopsy and what was officially released. If you would like to question what was officially released, you need to go to those sources. But
Imagine going to the actual official experts in charge of the investigation. Weird.
I know, weird. But I don't know what any of that has to do with the point of having this stream, which was talking about Kyle potentially abusing his boyfriend. Funny that.
Yeah, that's a weird bit of whataboutism, huh?
I'm really curious to know what the advocates on the line who supposedly care about abuse and autism and LGBTQ plus things have to say about autistic Bull being accused of shit and LGBTQ Kyle being accused of shit, and also them trying to weaponize and abuse those situations on top of potentially the power dynamic going on with the current situation with Matt Dillahunty. I don't know, maybe that's just too much. Maybe that's there's too much on their plate.
That's a lot of consistency you're asking for there.
Slicks666 says Bull got what he deserved and it was our love and respect.
That's
I cheers to that.
Yeah, I really think Bull did a great job.
He always did. And
I'll drink a sip of my bottom shelf vodka to that.
Well, there was never a reason to question him, and if there were a reason to question him, it is interesting that only seems to happen after the fact.
Conveniently, when he's no longer here to defend himself.
Conveniently,
Right.
And I would bet you money none of these people would have the balls to say that if he was still alive. And on top of that, none of us fucking went through the drives ahead of time, asshole. If they were destroyed.
And you know what's interesting?
How did I have a question. How does this person know? How does this Brian person know that bits of Bull's hard drives were destroyed? And secondly, Bull was kind of quite tech savvy. Why would he hold shit on his hard drive that if he was going to kill himself or he was going to die by our hand via suicide, why would he keep incriminating shit on a drive that police had access to for weeks? That seems kind of stupid.
Well, Mr. Brian is stupid, but also we have to employ something that we've talked about for a long time about this projection thing. about every time they try to incorporate some kind of thing in our direction, actually, it's something that they're doing.
Well,
so
that's,
what I'm thinking is,
for example, I'm going to give you some examples
Mr.
before I jump
Brian,
in. Let me give some examples. Let me give some examples.
Okay, go ahead.
A bunch of them saying that, oh, hey, Steve is 50 and he's dating somebody who's, like, well into their mid to late 30s, while Matt Dillahunty is dating somebody who's 27. Or maybe, for example, saying that, hey, you're engaging in apologetics, but as soon as a rape victim wants to come forward and tell you about their experience, they immediately shit on them and tell them they shouldn't have anything to have to say or that they're not real women. Or something along those lines. So when you start getting into something like, hey, maybe you're doing some illegal activity like abuse or maybe going after child porn. Mr. Serious, take it away.
Mr. Brian's computer is probably covered in child porn. Allegedly. According to his own standard here.
I mean,
that's what
I
I'm
have
guessing.
exactly as much evidence of that as I do of that being the case for Boole.
Well, technically, according to his own admission, that, I mean, I guess it really takes one to know one. He really would, he's really, like, identifying with Boole here, that he really sees in Boole a little bit of himself, that he's, you know, a real big child porn lover, and that I guess he's trying to identify with Boole in that, you know, he's trying to, you know, he must be a child porn lover like me.
So not only is he going like, hey, you're going for child porn, but also you're going for gay child porn, assuming that being gay is a problem. So we've got a little bit of homophobia thrown in there while we're at it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that makes a difference. It's equally horrible either way. Just gonna go put that out there.
So maybe, just maybe, a tip thrown in, like, in Mr. Brian's direction regarding child pornography might be in order. What do you think, Mr. Brian?
I think everybody's computers should be open for everyone to look at all times. That way we all know what everyone else is doing.
I mean, obviously, do you want?
I don't want to see most of the stuff on your computers.
I am more than happy if Mr. Brian is willing to open his entire computer to everybody's access, that everybody can take a look at it whenever they see fit. I can officiate something like that. I will make a very specific separate room within Discord to allow Mr. Brian to join, to allow him to open up his entire computer to the rest of us. Is Mr. Brian okay with that? Because that seems to be the thing that he's asking for.
Yeah, I'll be in charge of doing the searches to see if whatever I can find in there.
I'll send if Mr. Brian, my DMs on Twitter are open right now. If Mr. Brian sends me a message on Twitter, indicates that it is them, I will send them the link to this Discord and they can come into this chat and give us the exact reasoning as to why they're making the claims that they are.
Yep, seems fair to me.
Hell, if you really want, you can only deal with one or two of us. Or even one-on-one if you really want to. I'm a nice guy. Do you want to just talk to Dapper?
I would just love to see the inside of Mr. Brian's computer.
You know that's because I'm the one who's most likely to actually be patient.
No, I don't know.
You asshole immediately.
I don't know. Okay, listen. The most aggressive person is going to be Rez. The most charitable person is going to be Mr. Serious. Me and you are probably the most like, we're going to take the medium route of being like, okay, let's hear what you have to say.
Here, look.
Yeah, it might be.
This is my turn.
I'm just gonna be copying. I'm just gonna be copying over the nastiest fetish videos I can find, and then.
Of course, that's why you're not allowed to play.
Yeah, I just would have no interest in it.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a reason why I'm not putting everybody on the table as to who would be willing to talk to the person.
I'm only interested in that this person seems to think that after you die, your computer should just be an open book, which makes me curious as to what's on his computer. Otherwise, I wouldn't care because I don't generally care what's on other people's computers, because even if it's criminal, that's someone else's job. I have no expertise or experience in figuring that out, so I leave it to other people.
Well, the question, weird. The question is like who, like if all computers as soon as you should die, or like as soon as you die, your computer should be open. Does that apply to everybody in every context, no matter what? So does that mean when a president dies, even if they're still in office, do all of the things that were on their computer go public?
That's one of the areas I might say yes. That's one of the areas I might say yes.
If they die? You think so?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of transparency in government, and also if you're president...
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're not talking about the official government computer. We're talking about their personal computer.
Yeah, I'm still okay with that. Fuck the president.
So you agree that you think that when a president becomes president, they give up all privacy in that regard?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Okay.
I think that's fair.
I think we should adapt to the Constitution. I'm totally on board with that.
I think that's fair.
Here's one of the things, though. You found one of the categories of people that I'm generally not a fan of because they all suck, and I can give reasons why pretty much all of them suck, except William Henry Harrison. That guy was awesome.
Fair.
That's because he was president for less than a month, and then he died.
I've got my Twitter open, by the way. I have no new messages, just to be clear.
Shocker.
Dapper just wants to see Melania porn.
It seems
no, that's actually at least softcore Melania porn is already public. She posed nude. She's the first lady to go out there with public nude that she herself made public.
Well, you don't have to worry about seeing Trump in those photos. Like, I mean,
no. Well, that was also before they got married. That was back when Trump was on like his third wife or something.
I'm trying
if I ever see that, I'll have to decide whether I have too many eyes in my face.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we should make it a race between Kent Hovind and Trump. Who can get more wives before they die?
Ooh. That would be a solid betting pool. I'm currently deciphering and trying to decide if me smashing my glass was more like an accent to what I was saying or more of a detriment to what I was saying.
I think it was an accent. I made sure to go to the YouTube page so I could watch it happen after the fact.
Where I just like went to grab it and just knocked it with the edge of my hand. I was just like, shit.
I hope there wasn't too much wine in there because that's alcohol.
There was like maybe that much.
You say it like I can see that real time.
Look at the outside. You're fine. I believe in you.
That was a good joke.
You're Dapper's big brain. He's got half of his brain stashed in the hat. It's fine.
This is what Mr. Brian's doing. This is what Mr. Brian's doing.
Mr. Brian's doing nothing. He fucking disappeared from my... He was all over it, and then he fucking disappeared.
Yep. Apparently, the Bitch Brigade has bitched out.
Oh no, this is what he's doing. He's moving all of his stuff over to another hard drive so he can unplug it, and then he's gonna come back and be like, "All right, now I'm ready. Come check it out."
Yeah.
You better red key that thing.
The Athens makes a good point, saying hopefully Puck doesn't get into some wine. No, I wiped it all up. There's no more wine on the floor. Plus, Puck is an alcohol snob. He will only drink like very specific things, and he's not interested. But I also went out of my way to wipe up the floor, not only in picking up the glass, but also picking up, make sure all the wine was wiped up with it. So he is well and safe, and he's not even in this room. He's not even here. He's not anywhere in this room. He's gone.
I have a serious question for you, Chesh, though.
Oh God. Okay.
Why is our background for this stream like something out of Martha Stewart Living?
Oh, it's the that time of the month background. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just that show is usually filled with like faces and articles and stuff, and I just never noticed.
Yeah, no. If I move it slightly to the left, there's a shitload of alcohol on that table. I moved it so you guys can see, but yeah, no. There's like a bunch. There's like some Blue Casaro, there's some Jack Daniels, there looks like some Southern Comfort and some vodka on there. There's the fucking martini fucking shaker. Yeah, no, it's all in there, stashed. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that JD and SoCo, I can help you with that.
If you're making a martini, put it in the shaker but stir it. James Bond has basically the worst martini order that you can possibly have.
Do not specify your alcohol off of a movie. I'll put it that way.
No. Yeah, it's a bad idea. Look, guys, gin martini and stirred. Go a little bit dirty if you like. I like it a little dirty. You might not. But absolutely do not take vodka over gin, and never shake a martini. It's gonna be
there's a YouTube channel that I follow that's all about like recreating alcohol based off of yes.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up because I wanna provide the link to people.
Yeah, How to Drink is great.
And
it's always hilarious when we offer these people to come on.
They never do.
They disappear. Like at a
To be
puff of
fair,
smoke.
that was kind of a piss take. So.
Well, it was, but it wasn't though, because like, look, I believe Chesh that if he wanted to, he could have had his pick of anyone in the call to go into a separate room and have the discussion. And like, look, if someone actually decides to put up and come to me with their ideas and arguments or whatever, I'm gonna put up with them and listen at the very least until it's clear that they're just being in bad faith. Like look, I put up with fucking Mr. Batman for like 2 hours while his entire argument was basically
I spent 6 hours with Gary.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she's got you beat there.
I wasn't going to spend a minute.
Yes, but Mr. Batman is worse than Gary per unit time.
I wasn't going to spend a minute listening to him unless he was going to allow me to actively search his computer while talking to him.
But listen, all of us have our own approaches, and all those things are perfectly... Okay, so from what I know, I don't know anybody whose approach has been unfair. I'll put it that way, although different.
Yeah, there's more than one way to be fair.
I'll say this, Keon. For once, we're not actually talking about you.
Keon, do you want to come in?
Oh, Lord.
I'm okay with Keon coming in.
Keon, do you want to come in? I'll send Keon the link.
If you continue down this path of introspection and realize how wrong you were and how deceived you were, I'm okay. Like,
well, there's a difference between like my channel versus Red's channel versus Steve's channel. Keon will not be allowed on Steve's channel or Red's channel, and I understand. And that's totally fine on their platforms. But as far as I'm concerned, I might value Keon's introspective about Menace or about that whole of people that I think might be worthwhile, might be valuable to talk about. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as Keon's not bullshitting, he's fine to be here. If he starts bullshitting, then yeah, fine, time him out, which I think Keon would also be like, yeah, no, I'm bullshitting, time me out. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, it took him way too long if he's being sincere, given all of the bullshit.
I mean, look, I run a show occasionally called Leaving Young Creationism, and some of the people who've been on there have been, like, involved in creationist bullshit, including things like, you know, actual harassment of things like scientists or science communicators. And you know what? I was one once. When you're in that kind of mindset, there's no way to tell how long it's going to take you to get out of it if you ever do. And I don't think that getting out of the mindset where you realize that, oh, hey, these people were lying to me, I don't think it matters how long you believe their lies, if you honestly believed it, and then you realize it was bullshit. At that point, I think, like, you got to give people the benefit of the doubt once they come out of it. Because it's like, look, people spend decades in actual cults, right? Like, people leave the Jehovah's Witnesses or Scientology at like 60 or 70.
You never know.
Because they spent 40 years in the cult that they're worse. I won't.
You never know what's gonna, like, to be. Sometimes it's a slow, gradual thing, and sometimes it's just like a snap, like, holy shit. That was one of the things that Kyle made fun of me about. He was super mad that I would describe a situation of like this, and I would snap when I was saying it. I would be like, it was this, and that was this, and that was this, and he was like, oh my god, Chesh snapped her fingers, and therefore you're wrong. And it's like, okay, but there's people who might be like, oh my god, you don't know what Kyle's mental state is like being in jail. He could be suffering. And the answer is like, yeah, he might be. But you know what he also doesn't have fucking access to? The internet. He doesn't fucking know what we're saying right now. He doesn't fucking have a goddamn clue because he's fucking stuck in goddamn jail. And it was the same thing with Jimmy Snow. Oh my god. Holy shit, guys, Jimmy checked himself into a hospital. He's not doing so good. And it's like, good, now the fucking victims can come forward, talk about whatever they fucking goddamn feel like without feeling pressured by how it might affect the person who they feel abused by, because that person does not have internet access.
I like how every time they're invited, they suddenly have an excuse as to why they can't come in.
That dude didn't even have an excuse.
He just fucked off.
He just disappeared!
No. I'm talking about this new guy.
Wait, which one?
Well, there's
Peter Harrington.
Oh, he's gonna take his daughter shopping, guy.
No, Peter's cool. Peter's cool. I can bring Peter in. Peter's the one who makes like
I've never
half
seen that name before, so...
I assure you have. Peter Harrington makes like half of the Unirock memes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't pay attention to the Unirock.
No. Peter's not. I'm offering Peter Harrington to come in because I know who he is, not because he's talking shit.
But can we look at his computer then?
Oh, Peter! Are we allowed to look at your computer?
I
You
would
make
hate to
Unirock
look into
memes. Do we really want to?
Yeah, I would hate to look into a random person's computer.
Hey, you guys...
Ren, you know what he doesn't have access to? Burger King.
So isn't the whole point of punitive justice to incur suffering in order to discourage this kind of behavior?
I mean,
Isn't
the
that
only
kind
reason...
of the point?
The only reason why I wanted to look in that one guy's computer is because he wanted to make a big deal about what was in Bull's computer and try to shame him for this supposed whatever was in Bull's computer. So I'm like, oh yeah, well then you wanna put that on the plate, then show yours. Put your balls on the plate, basically. Like that's how it's gonna be.
Once anyone's dead, we can just look at anyone's computers. It doesn't matter who they are.
Well, no.
Keon, just for context, I haven't been on Twitter for 2 months, and I don't plan on ever going back. So
I mean, if people wanna scope through my shit, they can, but at your discretion. I don't think it's a safe place, but it's certainly not. There's no crime happening.
I usually use mine just to communicate with
Probably?
big companies when shit's going crazy, like if some servers are down or something.
Oh.
I literally only use Twitter for checking out what you idiots are doing, and also for like when I'm at a gaming event, just like sending messages to like other people who are there.
I don't know. I'm a lead
Or taking
hacksaw.
selfies and posting them.
I've already looked at all your PCs to make sure you're fine. I'm the lead hacksaw, didn't you know?
You guys if you guys come to come to destroy my computer, you'll find like my Unirock masks and my setup and all the
if any single one of you start doing videos, if any of you guys start doing videos with a fucking I printed out Unirock's face on regular paper and then I cut it out and fucking hole punched and put like elastic bands through it to put it on my face so I could dance around in my kitchen with Unirock, I'm disowning you. I'm disowning you immediately. Unlike some other people who do it to Steve.
What if you get Unirock's face and do like a deep fake like live stream while I'm gaming?
Okay, situationally, it might be funny.
No, but what if I am Unirock?
Ooh.
Oh shit.
I can play a game. I can play a crappy old game, and then someone else can do like a Unirock impression while doing a deep fake.
Wait, Chesh, what if I replace my normal texture for my avatar's skin with Unirock's profile picture? So it's just tiled Unirocks all across my avatar.
No. Okay. All right. Hear me out.
Nightmare fuel.
You know how there's like
Unirock feathers.
Oh no! Why would you? Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Anyone play Agario? Unirock's face on Agario.
No! Fuck you! Okay, hear me out. Okay, so you know how there's, like, oh, this person has done so many movies and done so many interviews that there's so many hours of what they have to say that you can basically just take their voice and modulate it, right? So Unirock, or not Unirock, who was it? Astronomy Live and Red's Rhetoric did that for one of the, I think, what was it? Kyle's deposition, where they made Kyle Gilbert Gottfried. Yeah, there. I would bet money. I would put real life money down to say that there is enough Unirock content. There's enough hours of Unirock that you would be able to modulate Unirock's voice to say whatever the fuck you wanted it to.
In before you make him delete all his streams.
I mean, he kind of sounds like he sounds like one of those fucking text-to-speech things already.
Well, okay, so
the way he drones on.
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a pretty solid understanding that Unirock also uses a voice modulator where he changes his voice.
Is that why his voice sounds so fucking weird?
Yeah. Supposedly he uses a thing to make his voice sound the way. That's the way
makes a lot of sense.
That's the way, but there's also another thing. It's just like, wait, that's the way you choose to have your voice sound? Wait a minute.
Well, it would be perfect for Unirock because then, you can, whenever you need to type, you can just have him vape for like an hour straight while you're typing your sentence.
Okay, listen, that's just why... Okay, listen, if you want to know whether or not Uni is full of shit, you listen to how long his vape is, because the longer he sucks on that shit is the longer he needs to take to think about what the fuck bullshit he's gonna make up next.
Now, if we could just fill his vape with helium, he might be interesting to listen to.
How close would he be to Mickey Mouse?
Well, his vape is already full of hallucinogens, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh, 9/11 was predicted by Back to the Future.
Listen, when Keon is the voice of reason, I feel like we're in trouble, because Keon just said, no, creating a Unirock AI is the most awful idea ever. Alright, abort mission. Abort mission. Keon is right. We should not.
We're agreeing with Keon now. What the fuck is going on?
Oh
my god! What is this reality?
Keon had a whole full ass come to Jesus moment where he was like, "I'm really mad, and I'm only acting out of how mad I am. Why am I so mad? This is stupid. I'm gonna stop now." And that's where Keon's at. I don't know if that's where he's at now, but this last checkup I did on Keon.
You doing wellness checks with Keon?
I like to check in to make sure he's okay, because I actually like Keon.
That's fair.
That's kind of what I'm doing with Trio now. I'm trying to save Trio. That's my whole goal now.
I feel like...
Why are you wasting your time?
One of two things. Either I caught Keon earlier, or you're full of shit.
Yeah, every time Trio comes to talk to me, I just assume that he's crying for help. Like, he'll tweet at me some harassing nonsense, and I'll just assume it's a cry for help, because why else would he want to talk to me?
I mean, that's fair. Okay, there's been an ongoing thing.
Gotta head out. Good night, guys.
Have a good night, Helios. We're gonna wrap up soon. I don't actually... I want to be clear. I've never actually disliked Keon. There's been one or two things that Keon has done and that I've been like, okay, that's not fucking cool. But it was about those individual instances. Like, you did that individual thing, and that thing is the thing that I have a problem with, not you as a person. Those are different... It's like, okay, that's not okay. Like, I got it, but you did this thing, and I'm not cool with that thing. And those things are things that Keon has rescinded, and what the fuck am I looking at on Dapper's fucking screen?
What?
What?
I love it.
Now? Fantastic.
Dapper, you've never looked more dapper.
But I understand why Reds might take a little bit more offense, or why Steve might take a little bit more offense towards the things Keon has said and done, and why they might not just, like, face value whatever. Like, everybody has their boundaries, and I respect Steve's boundaries, and I respect Rez's boundaries, but I also understand and try to respect Keon's boundaries and who he is and where he's come from and where he's decided his lines are and what he thinks is okay and what he thinks isn't okay. And so I'm not offended to see Keon in, like, Ethan's chat, or Keon in Fiona or Exiled or Holy Spackle's chat. I understand that. That's makes total sense to me. At the same time, I'm still playing with the idea if Keon is interested in having sort of like a more interview style thing, where it's like, listen, we're not... I'm totally fine to talk to you as an individual one-on-one, but an interview is something different, where, like, no, I am going to question you, and I am going to, like, have that conversation and push that envelope a little bit, and maybe push you into the place of a little bit of uncomfort. But that's only ever going to happen if I'm comfortable with it and Keon's comfortable with it. I don't give a shit whether or not Menace tells me I can or cannot have Keon on. I give a fuck. I don't care if Steve is like, why the fuck you still hot to Keon? And I'm like, nah, fuck you. Keon's my favorite. But I would like to point...
If Menace says you shouldn't do it, you should absolutely fucking do it.
Right? But I would like to point out that I have still chosen the best person out of all of those fuckers about who has the chance of surviving this absolute dumb fuckery. Because as of where we're at, I'm the only one who has gotten somebody who has successfully left these crazy motherfuckers. Right? Now, he might still go and ask them questions. Totally fine. But I have not seen Keon support any one of these fucking people since he decided that he wanted to be like, I'm done with this shit, and he started getting threatened. This is why I, by the way, you see my hand here? This is why I knocked my goddamn fucking empty glass over. There's a degree of, like, I'm down to have this, I'm fine to have this conversation with Gary. I'm fine to have this conversation. You have any idea how interesting it would be for Shen's panty liner to come and have an actual conversation with me? Or Clarissa, to have them come on with me and have a conversation about whatever it is their problem is? Because I can sit down and say, hey, listen, what is your problem with me? And I could say, okay, I understand why you have your problem. Let me kind of give you some pushback, and let's have a conversation about it.
By the way, Jess, you have a wonderful new picture in your DMs on Discord.
Oh God! All right.
I would love to have a conversation with them too, and I don't even know them. Like, apparently Jen, they have a Jen's panty liner. Is that her name?
Shen's panty liner.
She's got a problem with me too. Apparently, she liked that tweet that was just me asking for honesty, and somebody told me I was crazy. And then she liked that tweet. I'm like, how? How does anybody like a tweet telling me I'm crazy for asking for honesty? How did that happen? And, so, I mean, I wouldn't mind talking to her either, but she has no idea who I am.
But at the same time... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, it's fine.
No, you go first. It's fine.
I was just going to say, do you know how I found this community originally? It was just literally like a couple years ago. It was just I actually, it was Darth Dawkins I came across. Yeah. Oh, no. And then I don't know, I followed some links and then I found the Discord. And it's just so funny.
Yeah, Liz makes a good point. Says they were freaking out about something you said about aborting 3-year-olds, and I honestly. I earnestly do not understand what they're fucking upset about. Mostly because I don't think they understand the topic that was the topic of conversation in that stream. And I'm more than happy to have that conversation with Shen or with Clarissa if they would like to come on and have like a one-on-one stream conversation with me about it. And actually, so that way, one, they know what the conversation was about, and two, we can have that discussion. I actually offered recently to bring on somebody who I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. They were saying that they had issue with some of the things we were saying about how a human develops between certain ages, and I am totally down to have that conversation because I don't, well, right, unveiling the mask makes a good point. How do you abort a 3-year-old? And the answer was that I was using hyperbolic language, and I actually walked that language back like half a second to a second or so after the clip that's taken.
Here's the kicker.
It's because it's you. It's a
yours.
Right.
You mean
yes.
someone's been
Yes.
quote mining?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Has
not.
someone been quote mining?
Yeah, not only was I presenting an argument that wasn't mine, but also I walked back the word abortion because I was using, I noticed that I was using inflammatory language of saying late-term abortions up until till like as part of the argument was like you ought to be able to or have the choice to aborting children that were unviable, as in like children that were going to die. Like, listen, your child is 6 months old and they're going to die within the year. Should you be able to euthanize them or not? But instead of using the word euthanasia, I used the word abort. And I was like, okay, let me fix that, and I fixed that like a second or two after the clip that's taken. Yeah.
Should we just make like the Spartans and yeet them across the rocks?
Before
Yeah.
I wanted to say this before you explained it, but since that big thread went up this morning and everybody flipped the fuck out, how many people have come to you asking for any kind of clarification?
There was one person that came to me in DMs for clarification, and I gave them. They asked me where the. This is like almost feels like a year ago, but it might not be that long. Somebody named Eric Norway came to me in DMs asking for where the fuck is this clip from, and I said, well, just a minute, give me a second, I'll see if I can find it because I think I know which video it's from. And it took me like some time, and I found the video, and I said, this is what the video that it's from. The context starts from about 20 or so seconds beforehand at this timestamp, and I gave that to them. But very few people.
Question.
Yes.
Did you say, because I don't recall this at all, did you say that apparently it's in Britain it is legal to abort children up to 3 years old?
So
because I don't recall you ever saying that.
I don't remember what I said in the video, but from what so I can't speak on that. I have to rewatch the video. But from my memory currently, I was under the impression I had read like an article and watched a video saying that it was legal to have, that euthanasia was legal up until like if you have a child that is unviable. So if you had like a child that was not going to survive to 2 years old in Britain, it was legal to euthanize them at 1 year old.
Right.
I might be wrong, but that was the impression. That was my understanding. Am I wrong about that?
I actually don't know about that. Weirdly enough.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm actually gonna have to look that up and see if I can come up with some more details next time.
It kind of brought to mind something. If someone has a weird disease of aging, like progeria, should we even care about holding them to the age limitations of stuff like smoking and drinking? They're not gonna make it to 21.
So I have different opinions about that.
Andy Milonakis? He doesn't have
Progeria becomes president. That'd be funny. That sounds like a bad 80s comedy movie.
Yeah, it really does.
Slicks said there is a guy who took his parents to court because they didn't ask his permission to be born. I think the judge had a good laugh.
I think that was in France.
There's two arguments to be made about that, and one of them is viable, and one of them is bullshit. And one of them is like, oh no, you're a parent, therefore you're legally obligated to take care of your child indefinitely. And the other one is that, no, you didn't agree to be born, and so you should be given certain rights. And so, like, there's an argument to be made. Like, nobody chooses to be born, right? You don't get to pick your stats. You didn't get to be like, hey, listen, I want to be born with this skin color in this family and this time with this group of people, right? So, right?
I want to be born a Chinese peasant girl in the 1800s.
Right? To be specific, there's somebody saying she did. I commented on it as I am a Brit. Yeah, no, if you want to give me the more specifics, I had read and was under the understanding that there was after-birth euthanasia that was legal in Britain and in the UK. I maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I had read at the time. So if I am wrong, please correct me. I am more than happy to be corrected about that, and I'm totally fine with that. So if I was wrong, let me know, and I'm more than happy to correct myself.
If you were if you feel like that, what was the thing about people? Did you feel like they were like they didn't ask to be born?
Oh, you never chose to be. That's this kind of like comes along with being the born thing. You don't.
So
have...
they were.
Yeah.
They're born against their.
So what I remember, because I remember a case. I think it's the same case. There was a case in France where someone with some pretty severe disabilities. They weren't cognitive, but like they had some pretty severe deformities and degenerative issues and whatnot. Sue their parents for not aborting them because they didn't get a say in that, and by being born, they said that they had been harmed because they were made to suffer for, their whole life.
Yeah,
and the judge was basically like, "No, being born can't be said to be a harm. Sorry, you're bye."
There's definitely more. There's been more than one case. There was a guy who became a lawyer whose both of his parents were lawyers, and as far as I know, that guy
Here's something wildly
off
topic, but I think it's kind of important to mention.
Yeah, go for it.
The Supreme Court apparently left the abortion law, the heartbeat bill, in place.
For which state and in which country?
For Texas.
Oh, fucking no! We don't know. We're not no. We're not talking about Texas.
No, we can't get into that now. It's way too fucking late.
Is that because they didn't hear the case, or because they made a decision?
No, it's because they didn't hear the heart.
Well, okay, but like
they
there's a
voted
really big...
5-4 to deny the appeal.
Okay, so that means there's no new precedent.
No, come on, please. I'm going to bed. Seriously.
No, that's all I just wanted to know was there a new precedent? And the answer
no,
is
it's not. It's not, but it's still kind of bad.
Right, but there's two ways it could be bad, and I just wanted to know which way it was.
Why is it always Texas?
It's not always Texas. Sometimes it's Alabama.
It's always Texas.
Because Texas is gonna Texas.
Why?
No, sometimes it's Alabama, guys.
God damn it. Alright, I got one
hope COVID
thing.
solves this for us by changing the demography.
We are so far off
It just
topic.
needs to evolve to a point where, like, everyone who denies it now just needs to We need Thanos to click his fingers at this point. It's too late for the humanity.
That's only going to get rid of half of them, and it's a random half. That's not going to solve anything.
I believe Thanos' powers could choose to get rid of all the COVIDiots. If
Thanos should snap his fingers and turn ivermectin into some like seriously bad poison.
Alright, I got one last thing I'm gonna show, and we're getting the fuck out of here. Alright, I'm gonna... you guys can still continue your conversation, but I'm gonna end this with we're roping this back into Kyle, and there's a quote from him that says... I have not been on YouTube recently because it is a past thing. I've never been as happy as I am now. McCrae is a nuisance that pops up when there is a warrant out for my arrest. My life is happy. I don't need subscriber numbers for validation like some others do. I'm dating the man of my dreams, and he fully supports me.
Not anymore.
I hope that everyone who is listening to this is happy. If you're consistently chasing subscribers and numbers, you'll end up as miserable as that son of a bitch, Steve McCrae. McCrae is spelt wrong through all of this, by the way. And no one wants to be like him. Love y'all, Kyle Curtis. And we're gonna get the fuck out of here because this is some nonsense. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll catch you on the flip side because we will be back soon. I'm not sure. I have a new channel coming out. I hope you guys keep an eye out for it, but I'm not telling you what it is because you'll have to be able to tell it from the voice. I believe in you. You can find it. It's Dungeons and Dragons related. I just shut up. I'll see you guys later. That video is awful. Everything is awful about it. And like, sub, hit the bell. There'll be more updates as to Kyle and Non Sequitur and Steve as we go. As soon as there is an update with the court documentation, I will be sure to let you guys know either on Twitter or I will do a new video depending on what the fuck it says. And I will see you guys next time. And you'll notice that as soon as the trolls were welcome to come in, they pissed the fuck off out of the live chat. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Good night, all.
Kyle Curtis.
Good night, guys. Follow me on Twitch.